What's good people? We are back once again for a Wednesday night segment on the Pulse. On the Pulse. And well, we've had a hell of a few days here lately. I think I'll just call it that real quick. But before we get everything started, just a quick housekeeping note. I will have to switch devices mid-show, so don't get freaked out. If I pop off, I'll be popping right back on. I just got to run an errand. I won't be showing my face, but I'll be here. Wig, let's start with you. How has your week been so far?
What's up, fellas? My week been just blessed, bro. Like I always say, just blessed.
You get it, dig it. Steph and Lynn, how have you all been this week?
We've been keeping busy,
rocking and rolling for sure.
Yeah,
tis the season.
Oh, is it? Y'all pick up around this time of year,
or? Yeah, we like to, because what do you call them? It's prom time. So we find out how where your priorities are, whether we need to backload you to the back burner or keep everything, up front where we can see it. And
they spending enough money on the cars and stuff and the dresses.
And then graduation's coming, so that up conversations around college funding.
Okay.
And folks keep dying. Ted Turner died today.
Yes.
And
yes, he did.
He had a good run. At one point, he owned the most land in the United States.
Really?
I think Bill Gates passed him as the owner of the most land in the United States. But at one time, it was Ted Turner. And a lot of it had to do with him trying to save all those bison. He was on the mission because bison were almost extinct.
Yeah.
And then he heard about it and he did what he does. He was very philanthropic.
He looks like us and Wig got the memo.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I hope you feel better, Jay Glass. You sound beat up.
Oh yeah, and our son chose my alma mater, Temple University.
Okay.
To start his college career in the fall.
Hey, congrats on that.
Thank you.
Congrats on that. Rounds of applause for sure. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, y'all got a lot shaking.
Yep.
My goodness.
Look, we got college funding.
Yeah. I hear that. Rich, how about you?
I'm good.
One and done. Yeah, we've we've had some bad weather out here, and pollen has been kicking up, doing me bad to say the least.
Yeah.
And my kids running back and forth to school. That don't help much at all either, but we're gonna survive it all. We're going to survive it all. We'll be all right.
Poor thing. What's going on?
You ready to get to it, right, Richard?
Yeah, he ready to jump head in. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to it. Today, we are going to be talking about Supreme Court of the United States and their latest ruling on the 1965 Voting Rights Act, Section 2, and what they have done to and with it. Now, just to set this up a little bit, the Voting Rights Act was something that was done during the 64-65 saga with LBJ, That's the quick history of it. And what it did is it protected African Americans by allowing proper representation for their votes. And it was something that has been carrying forward and carrying on, and we there have been many court cases that have been heard and seen off of the back and the foundation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, specifically Section 2, which allowed for the democratic process, as it were, in America to actually be a thing. What I've heard here recently, a lot of people saying and framing, and I don't think I can directly disagree, is that America didn't actually practice true democracy until after 1965, when people began to actually have the protections that they needed in order to actually vote. And I think there is truth in that statement, which would put our democracy at that point still a bit in its infancy. And with this ruling, you hear people saying that we've been taken back. Now, I want to also state that the Voting Rights Act has not been eliminated. That's the misnomer. It has not been eliminated, but
What about
it has
obliterated? What about obliterated?
It's been gutted. It's been gutted for sure.
Okay, gutted is the drinking game word now, right? Gutted.
That's what is. Yep, that's the drinking game name, and that's what we're hearing a lot of the political pundits saying in regards to this. And the question is why, right? Why was it such a big deal? Why should people be concerned about this ruling, and does it really affect anything? So let's start with the easiest question. I think is the easiest question. Was it still actually needed? I'll start Wig. We'll start that with you.
You know, the fact that, like you just said, was it actually needed? Is it still actually needed? Look at the gerrymandering, what's going on now. That should tell you right there that it's still needed. So I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think it's a travesty that they, I often tell people, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So once they chipped away at it the first time, it made it easier to go back at it the second, third, fourth, and fifth time. And I'm really upset that they did it, but I'm more upset that Clarence Thomas. I could have took them doing it, but he went with them. That's what got me. This is a guy that used every tool in the trick for a black man. Right. Used every trick in the book, not trick in the book, everything that we fought for to get where he's at, and then he pulled the ladder up.
Yep.
If it was been all white people, I ain't gonna lie to you, if it had been all white people, I expect that.
Oh.
It'd have been fodder for.
Right.
Exactly. But the fact that he probably was the first one to vote for
6-3 with the Negro spiritual.
Right. So
did you guys see Django?
Yes, Stephen.
Yeah,
yes, Stephen. But is it still needed? Big Glass.
Is that
obviously
what his name was?
Say that again.
Yeah, that was Samuel Jackson's name was Stephen.
Yeah.
Ooh, I couldn't stand him, but that's who we dealing with. Or Uncle Ruckus.
I'm Ruckus.
But I think we still need it, Glass, because I'm telling you, like, I'm looking at, the gerrymandering that's going on now is just crazy. It's crazy. They shouldn't be able to pick their voters. And that's basically what's happening right now. So pretty soon, I don't know where we're gonna be at. We're gonna be able to say that we have more voting rights than our children one day.
Oh, we can actually almost say that now.
That's what I think about it, Big Glass.
Yeah, because stuff they're taking away.
Yeah, it's effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we have to wait till one day We can effectively say that now, I believe. But let's shift it over to Steph and Lynn. Where are y'all at on this? Was it still needed?
Unfortunately, yes, because without it, then like Wig was saying, the politician is now able to pick their voter, and that's not the goal of voting. The goal of voting is for the politician to be picked by the voters. But this is just another thing that we have to overcome. And the way I believe we do it is voting. Many of us still, no matter how you draw the district, what good is it going to do
if you don't get out?
If we sit at home and don't vote?
Mm.
So if we get out there and get galvanized and energized by what's going on and voting, then because the way we vote, this is what happens with when they design programs for us.
Yeah.
And we don't do nothing. And they say, see, look, we done set this. We done level the playing field for them in this area, and they still not doing nothing. So, then we become our own worst enemy. So the way we overcome this to a point where we can look back and say, no, this isn't needed. But I was thinking about something this week. Like if I had a time machine and I went back to 68, the year I was born, and I was able to tell all the people in 68 that 40 years from now, we're going to have a black president. Would that be impossible, unimaginable for those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we start talking about, all the things. Look, gay marriage, in 68. Was that unimaginable?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because interracial marriage was
was barely legal.
Yeah.
So we have to continue to move forward and progress. But when you think of it from that perspective, I feel like we have come a long way. When you come from impossible to, we did that. And like you keep saying, Jay, when we get to a point where there's no first anything, because I can tell you in my career, I was the first six-figure African-American in the office. I was the first vice president in the office. I was the first one to get promoted to executive vice president in the office. I was the first one to promote a black man in the office, all over the place. And it gets, for me, it got tiring. I said, and some of those things that I just rattled off are still the case in my old Philadelphia office. So it's, we just gotta take control of the cards that we've been dealt.
And yeah, I just always wonder, or not always, but when I think of Clarence Thomas, what does he get out of being that guy?
I mean, he's been already given tons, allegedly given tons of money, right?
Money, benefits, trips.
Yeah.
But it is illegal.
Look, real estate, it's illegal.
Yeah.
But he did it.
But I mean, okay, this comes up and he's like probably the first person or the last person. Look, hey, I think it should be this. And I know those people are looking at him like, what?
Who would be looking at him like that, though?
The other judges is what I mean when they're, making their decisions. Because I'm sure he's adamant or ignorant about it.
No.
Come on, Richard. Come through.
No. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What is he? He's happy-go-lucky, or is he stern? I believe he's a very stern person.
This is interesting to me. That's why I'm so quiet. This doesn't bother me at all. I wish they would just gut the whole thing and get it over with. So when Mr. Wiggs said they're doing it, by piecemeal, no, just gut me all the way through. Don't let me bleed slowly. Just gut it all back in 2013 and be done. They did Section 1 in 2013. Now they have done Section 2, to where you still have Section 2, but you have to intentionally show that Black people in the district are being intentionally discriminated against. And all you got to do is hide behind saying, well, we're doing it for political partisanship, and that's legal. So, but I want to go back about when they put this law in 1965.
Yeah.
They never enforced the amendment, the 15th Amendment, that gave all men citizens in the U.S. I said men because the 19th gave the women, but they never enforced the 15th Amendment. Okay, that was in 1868 or 1870. I got my dates off on that. So the 14th Amendment gave us a due process, regardless of your race in this country, if you were a U.S. citizen, and it gave you citizenship. And those two amendments were designed not for descendants of the Irish servants or the Irish slaves or anyone else. It was only designed for the descendants of the enslaved African.
There was no Irish slave.
I'm just saying, when people watch this, and there are some white people who said they were Irish slaves, and I'm not going to argue with them about that.
Indentured servants.
Yeah, because they were wrong.
It may have been both. With the Irish, it may have been both.
No,
But they were always.
They weren't.
We know for sure that there were some white indentured servants. There may have been some white slaves.
No,
what we
there
do
weren't.
know, hold on a second.
Not in America, not United States of America.
I'm not so sure you're right about this.
I am.
Okay, well, we have to go back and research it again, because I think I found something different.
Well, here's the difference. So if we'll jump back on that, but I want to make sure that this is clear. In order for the white Irishman to have been a slave, it has to have been generational and not just with one person.
So we'll disagree on that, because
how? Because otherwise, if it wasn't the case, well, then blacks were just indentured servants also.
No, because they were enslaved Africans coming from the coast. And now some Irish will tell you that when they came from Ireland, they were enslaved. That's what some will tell you. Some will say they were servants.
Were they shackled on the ship?
Or taken against
No,
them?
Were they shackled on the ship that they came over on from Ireland?
No. But just stay with me where I'm going with this.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, we'll come back around to that. We'll come back around to
Y'all
that.
can't be more upset than I am on certain things like this. Y'all seen how I've gone off in the past, but I'm not doing that tonight, because this is a deeper issue tonight. So, the 14th and 15th Amendment were not for the indentured servants or slaves of European descent. That was for the descendants of African descent. And if they were white and they came over as indentured servants or slaves, they were set free in 7 years. That's undisputable. They were not lifetime slaves as white people. Now, I want to go to Clarence Thomas. I got cursed out by a lot of black people back in 1991. I think that's when he went up there to be on the United States Supreme Court, because Thurgood Marshall, our first African-American Supreme Court judge, passed away. I think he passed away on the bench, if I'm correct. So I said, this is not the person. And then all the black folks got mad and told me, no, you need to represent, you need to, support our own. I said, not this one. And then as the years played out, we saw this. But now I'm going to go to his mindset, because I used to hate Clarence Thomas. I don't hate him anymore. He is what he is. Doesn't get me ahead by hating the person for his actions. He wants this to be a colorblind society, even though his race helped him get ahead.
Right.
That's clear cut. Blacks and whites agree on this, and that's that. But now I want to get to this real quick. I wish they had gutted this whole thing. I'm not an African American who believes that we still need it. And so I'm looking at these numbers here, and I know before Lynn gets on me on these numbers, 26 minority U.S. House of Representatives. 26 in 1983. The Voting Rights Act got up to 90 in 2023. So in 1983, we only had 26, and by 2023, minority congressmen and women, 90, and we went from 35 House districts in, I guess, 1983 to 131. So the Voting Rights Act did produce more minority Congress people. Okay, that's fantastic, but it didn't matter.
Why not?
And I say this, and then I'll let y'all continue because I got some stuff I got written down here. The only thing I can think of substance since the 60s up to now is when President Obama did the Obamacare. That's the only thing of substance from either party to help the masses. So even when we had majority minority districts sending up African American men and women to Congress, and I think that's when they started the Black Caucus. I think in the 80s, I think they started that. I think that guy from Michigan or New York founded that particular caucus or coalition up there. What have they done substantially to improve the inner cities? Because the only way you can really substantially improve the inner cities, in my opinion, number one, stop drugs. You got to stop it any which way but loose. And building bigger prisons is not stopping drugs. No. And then you have to have jobs put in those environments in the inner cities all across America that are predominantly Black. You have to provide long-term sustainable jobs. If you don't, and the only thing you supply that environment is drugs, liquor stores, you won't fund the schools equally because you don't believe in funding the schools equally. Then what do you have? You have despair, and you create a cycle, and then you need the government for assistance to make it day to day. So you are never able to get life insurance or anything else because when you're battling day to day, you can't think long term. But the catch is this: when you're battling day to day in the inner city, and you're saying, once I get some money, now I can think long term. No. If you can't think long term when you don't have anything, you won't think long term when you do get something. So this voting really has not really helped us. And the example of me saying about us getting something substantial once we have money, if we came from a short-term environment, look at your NFL and NBA athlete. How many of them go broke? And not talking about the ones in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm talking about in the 90s going forward who have made substantial money in the pro leagues, but they came from the inner cities.
So let me ask you this. Has there not been progress within the community? Dang it. Within the community, because of have you? So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You're saying that since 65 up through now, you've not seen any change, substantial change, relevant enough to maintain the Voting Rights Act Section 2.
What I'm saying is the Voting Rights Act, sending all those minorities, not just Black folks, but other minorities, to Congress, has it stopped the influx of drugs into the inner cities? It has not. Has it created long-term sustainable jobs? It has not. So all that voting up there wasn't able because they were being outvoted. Because anytime the Democratic Party really tried to do something for the greater good to help everyone, the Republican Party was always there to fight it off.
Sure. And so now that you don't have any type of representation whatsoever, first off, let me just say this. Because of the representation that was had, the Black community has gotten billions of dollars. Like money has been funneled out to the HBCUs, right? It's not the biggest portion of it.
So
but
that's a separate issue.
Well,
I'm talking HBCUs are not within the inner cities.
If we're talking about a separate issue, because we're talking about funding, representation also means dollars. It means cents. It doesn't just mean we're going to get all the drugs out, right? We talked about drugs before. Americans love drugs. We're not going to get rid of that. That's a separate issue also.
Yeah, and it's not a Black issue.
So I have to fund
Americans. That's why we have an issue with drugs in America. Period. Because Americans like
not a Black issue.
It's not just a Black issue, but
Sure.
I'm going to fundamentally dig down and say, no, you're absolutely wrong. So when you go back in history, one of the reasons China does not, quote, want white people in their country to this day is because of the opium wars. And when they finally stopped that, they never had a problem with that ever again. So there's countries in the Middle East, when they tell you You're not bringing drugs. You're not bringing all that American culture to this country unless we say you are. They don't have that problem. So you cannot tell me you have the strongest, most fierce, efficient, effective military force in the world with nuclear capability, and you can't prevent drugs.
That's moving the target, though. I'm talking about, because you said drugs, and when I pointed out HBCUs, you said it was a separate issue. So, but I'm saying that if that's the case, and we're going by that standard, well, then the drugs is a separate issue also, and the bigger issue is, as regardless of the decade you're talking about, in the United States of America, Americans have loved drugs. Again, caffeine is a drug. Coffee is a drug. Alcohol is a drug. Americans will get drugs one way or another.
This is the type of fallacy that's been said so many times from both parties and from Americans that I refuse to accept.
How can you tell me that Americans don't love drugs?
Coffee is a legalized drug. What I'm telling you, and I'm not backing off on this, you cannot have the #1 military on earth and send us anytime you want to another country and tell them to get your act together because we're spreading democracy and you can't defend your border. That's a lie. That's not the truth. That's a fallacy.
But so also, if that's the case, you're indicting the CIA and the DEA also, because history has shown that these groups have brought drugs from other countries to the United States of America. Look at the Iran-Contra issue, right, in the 80s, right?
It doesn't matter. It's the mindset.
I'm trying to make the correlation, because I'm not saying how you're saying.
When someone wants to stop something, Lynn has said this repeatedly, and I've never argued with him on this. You prioritize what you want done in your country.
Yeah, I agree.
America said we're stopping all illegal drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me about the #1.
All right, Richard, how do you stop them? Because you know what China does?
I'm listening.
They kill you.
Okay. So
you want that? You want that?
Yeah. Oh. So when you have the #1,
you want death to drug dealers.
No, hold on. I want death to the trafficking, because when you have the #1, this is what irritates me. All three of us, I don't know if Mr. Wiggs served, all three of us served this country, and they brainwashed us to believe that we are the strongest, we're the best, and nobody is as good as us. Now that's an arrogant mindset, and then we tell the world, not really us three black men, but our country tells the world that we are the world's leader. Who the hell voted us the world's leader? It's that type of mindset, that type of arrogant mindset, that when the Europeans came down West Africa and said, we're better than you, give us some of your people. And then we're going to take them over here and we're going to work them to death all over these new Americas. It's that arrogance. When America has the #1 military, they've convinced me that we do.
How does the military stop drugs?
You use the military to protect your border. I said this a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. If we are partial to bringing them in because we understand that it supports an economic system and it supports law enforcement and it supports other different things, are we going to now put our military against our agencies, because our agencies are implicated in this as well?
So now we can go back to this voting thing. See, I knew that all this logic is going to come back on you. When a certain percentage of African Americans only vote for one party, this is why it's so easy to gut this Voting Rights Act, because they know it's going to hurt the Democrats. If African Americans would spread their vote out or make someone earn their vote, and the Americans as a whole, not just African Americans, but Americans as a whole would stop voting for the two major parties and vote for people who would say, we're going to stop this drug situation. We're going to make sure our schools are funded universally, regardless of the tax base within that school system. Okay? So when I said I was against slave reparations, and y'all said, well, no, Richard, we want our slave reparations. I said, I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, man. I'm sorry.
I do.
I want mine too.
Okay, Mr. Wigg. So what I'm saying is I went to schools from kindergarten up through 12 to be funded equally. But as long as you vote for a Democrat or a Republican, you'll never see that. So until Americans as a whole start voting in other people who are willing to kind of basically change everything and create a new way of thinking, you'll continue to have these same problems. And this is where Justice Thomas comes in. He's saying he never really was for this, quote, bias for black voters. He never wanted it because he knows that long term, as long as someone is getting a bias because of their race on anything in this country, we'll continue to have problems. But the problem is at the very beginning, because when you come over here as an enslaved African and your descendants are never viewed as being equal, never viewed by a majority as being equal, you will always have a problem because you had a problem in your righteous foundation from the very beginning. And you're always trying to, quote, clean up this mess. So when certain people from the Democratic Party say, we want to throw it all out and start over again, they're not completely wrong. They're not. And so when you look at both parties and you say, we need some third and fourth and fifth options. And that's why when Lynn and Stephanie say you have to vote, they're absolutely right. And that's why I vote every time I have the privilege to vote, and I photocopy how I vote. And when I say things and people say, oh, well, you're anti-black. No, I'm not. No, some people say that. Because just like if I say, well, okay, President Trump did something good here, you say, oh, Richard, don't say that. Because he's done so much damage in all these other areas, which I agree. But when I get my voting ballot and I look and I make my votes, I think this time I voted for maybe one Democrat, maybe two Republicans.
Where's the applause button? Yay! I'm kidding.
Is James still here?
He had to go.
Kinda. Remember, he told you he was going to bug out for a second regarding his daughter.
So that's why I said this, and I wrote down a list of questions about this Voting Rights Act. I think we may get. We're going to get fewer minority representatives in the House. But is it going to really destroy the African American community? I don't think so. I don't think it'll have no effect at all.
All right.
Oh,
Go ahead.
You in the car?
I'm in my car. Yeah, getting ready to go.
Are you in a panel van? A white panel van?
I know.
No.
No. Got candy and puppies written on the side. Where you at?
No, not at all.
Not
at all.
Okay, there you go. There you are.
Oh,
yeah, I'm listening to the conversation in the background. I got to go get my daughter. I'm listening.
Wait a minute. Here's something else that I wrote down. If we look at this from a white person's perspective, how did the 1965 Voting Rights Act really not discriminate against non-blacks in its efforts to protect black voters? Did this really enforce the 14th and 15th Amendments? So you bring a group of people over, you discriminate against them, then you got to create certain amendments to try to, make them citizens. And even with these amendments, you don't really enforce the amendments because it's such a headache. You allow the Jim Crow laws to take place. And so you're always trying to get these people to feel like they're equal and they have an equal chance, but you never can quite pull it off. So then you create these incentives about trying to help black people. And then white people say, well, wait a minute, you're trying to help them because of the color of their race, but you're discriminating against me, trying to help them catch up to me. And so we're always in this cycle, and this just goes around and around and around and around.
But the issue is we're not trying to be helped because of the color of our skin. It is because the playing field is not level.
And when you say that, now these two words come into play that no one can agree on. And so if we talk about equality, in order for you to catch up to me, Stephanie, on the equality, if I'm a white man, then we got to do something to bring you all the way up to catch up to me so it can be equal. So now what you need to catch up to me is that key word called equity. This country will never, in my opinion, outside the black president, ever really come to an agreement on equity to get African Americans or other minorities caught up to the white majority. I just don't see that happening.
And it's not okay, so it's not asking for the handout, it's asking for the same opportunity because as you see as Black people, once we are given an opportunity, we usually scale it. We usually do well. So that is the opportunity, the same opportunity. That's what is that one woman's name? The old Caucasian, the little old white lady with
Jane Elliott.
Jane Elliott. I love her experiments. Like, I think she was the first one to have Black and white people or people of different races stand in the back, the children stand in the back of the room and then ask, who had this, who had that, and then the white kids would progress.
If you had this situation, take one step forward.
Yeah.
If you had two parents in the house, take one step forward. If, so on and so forth.
And then it's like, okay, so look, race.
No, my favorite one is when she asked all the white people in the room.
Thank you, Mike.
How many of them would like to be a Black person?
Oh my God, that too.
And 0 hands.
And even the experiment
are raised.
I'm trying to remember if it was her too. The one that asked when they had the Black and the white baby doll.
That wasn't her.
That
was done years and years ago.
And what they chose. I mean, it's just we want the opportunity. That's all, because it's not to be like white people. It is not to be like white people.
No, that's not the point, though.
Expressing our lives, and like even when you said, "Let's look at this from a white person's point of view." No, okay, I get what you're saying because they have most of the power, had most of the power and everything. But just from a human standpoint, because ain't nobody everybody's not trying to be white. That is not the goal. You're trying to live a prosperous and healthy life because our lifestyles are we're two different cultures.
But that's not the point, though.
Different. What's something that's great for them may not be what's great for us.
But that's not the point. What
that's my point.
No, right. But hello? Hey. So we lost Mr. Wig and the Madeiras. Hello?
Oh.
Yeah, we lost them, so you have to bring them back on.
Hold on.
So we're still live.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they logged. Oh, they're coming back.
No,
they're back.
We didn't do anything. Yeah, we can still hear you when you were out.
Okay. So
I heard what you said about my mom. I'm just playing.
No, I didn't. So what I'm saying is, how do you treat Black people on a level playing field without discriminating against white people? And I'm not so
listen,
it's easy.
Richard, it's simple.
It's easy.
You just level the playing field. Now I have all the rights and I have all the access that Biff has.
It's not
now Biff feels some kind of way because Biff lost his advantage.
That's it.
That's Biff's business. That's his problem. But he's not being discriminated against. When they open up the opportunity to like every year, you made a comment about sports, but the Rooney Rule,
right,
every year gets talked about.
Yes.
Why does the Rooney Rule exist?
To give African American coaches a chance to interview.
And if it didn't exist,
then the chances would be a lot less.
There you go. And even with the Rooney Rule, do you know how many Black coaches got hired with double-digit openings this cycle?
None.
0.
Yeah. But
so even with the rule, but what I have to tell people is, because what the rule allows people, a Black coach who's up and coming, to go and sit in front of one of 32 owners and see what the process is like.
So I want to go back to this voting for a second.
Okay.
Because they had to do, because this is about this voting, and all this stuff kind of ties in. and maybe a white person can come on here tonight.
Leave your phone.
When they created the Voting Rights Act, number one, it was to stop discrimination against blacks, and it was intentional. So the states that had a history of that was in Section 1. And then every time they wanted to change how they did their districts or whatever, or how they had their voting, it's either the districts or the voting. I think it was the voting, how they did their voting, they'd have to get a clearance. In the 2013, the U.S. Supreme Court said no more having to be cleared. We're getting rid of that part. Because we believe that the discrimination, the intentional discrimination against African Americans is no longer there in their minds. All right. And then that Section 2 about drawing minority districts. And so when these non-African American voters said, hey, we're being discriminated against because Louisiana created a second district when black people complained and filed a lawsuit, and the state legislature created a second district, and then the non-African Americans complained in that district. And that's why I went up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they said, no more intentional. If it's not intentional, which is going to be hard to prove intentional, because the U.S. Supreme Court says that you can gerrymander or redo a district based on partisan favor. To me, that's crazy.
Right. It just can't be 250 miles long. That was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Right. So when Louisiana said, hey, to the court said, hey, you have to do another district for these black folks who complain. My thing is, okay, they did that. What's going on? Oh, God. I forgot his first name. Mikey. When they did that. So, can he hear us? You hear us?
My dog is coughing, so I was muted for a second.
So
he's very embarrassing.
My thing is, when they did this, I knew they were going to gut this thing out. And I'm like, you know what? Gut it out. Because the complaining is going both ways. And like I said, I don't see no substantial improvement in the inner cities. I don't. And people say, well, no, you're not seeing everything. Okay. But the same things that we were talking about in the 60s in the inner cities and in black communities, we are saying the same thing. And the only thing that substantially changed was when President Obama got Obamacare. Now that substantially changed something. That was huge, because I can't think of nothing from the 60s up to now other than that as something that was made. They've never really addressed the tax code to make it to where everyone pays the percentage of what they make. They never truly addressed that. You know, neither one of these parties want to really go at that tax code. Neither one of these two parties want to really say, hey, we're not going to vote on bills, and, you know, where we have the ability to trade on Wall Street and then vote on that bill later on. That's crazy. But neither one of these two parties.
So let's go back. Let's go back to something that you were saying, right? The progress that should have been made in the inner city, but was oftentimes met with resistance from other people in the same district, right? So it's not that there hasn't been progress that's been made. It's a continuous fight. What is it? Somebody driving like a damn fool. That's why I bring my pistol with me. That's why I used to have my pistol.
Oh, that to get to the liquor store.
But the issues that we're having, it's not that there's no progress from a lack of trying. It's several things that's happening and it's taking place. First off, capitalism demands a loser, right? Let's remember that we are in a capitalistic society, and capitalism has to have a loser. You can't always recreate the of the loser if you already have one in that system, because then you have to begin to reinvent a lot of different narratives. So we've been it since the inception, our inception in this country, and we will continue to be it. So this isn't a surprise. We talked about this when I was reading Project 2025. The other part of that, especially when it comes to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Section 2, is now we don't even have the ability to fight. It's been pulled away.
No, it's still there.
And to try and prove, listen. To try and prove the intent is the hurdle, the insurmountable hurdle that has now been thrust at us. You can't prove
Right.
that.
So it's still there. Section 2 is still there, but proving it, trying to overcome that hurdle is going to be really hard. So it's still there, but it's going to be almost really, really hard to get past the hurdle. Yeah.
But that's the portion of it being gutted that we were talking about at the beginning. So if America was actually going to be what you're continuously saying, a great country, well then yes, the playing field has to be level. And this was one of the actual instruments that slowly allowed that progress to expand. Now I don't totally disagree with you. Sometimes I think progress takes too long because we're worried about other people's emotions and feelings and how they're going to react to people being on the same level as them.
Right, being discriminated against, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree with you
white,
totally.
So white people, but white people as a whole say, listen to this. How do you fix racial discrimination by using racial discrimination to create equality when one group has a significant head start? How do you address that? Huh?
Yeah, and so that goes back to the justification. One of the justices saying that we've got to get away from fixing racial inequality by using racial. Like, no, if I'm experiencing a racial discrimination that provides racial coverage in order to meet that thing head on. Otherwise, what are we supposed to do? How do you actually remedy that through the courts?
Because here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. If you're going to use racial discrimination or quotas to fix discrimination, so it's almost like in order to fix racial discrimination, now you're going to kind of, quote, reverse it and discriminate against others to create that equal playing field.
But so it's not reversed. Mm-hmm. They just because you yell and scream and throw a tantrum saying that now that I am given the same rights that you are, that now you are discriminated against, like Lynn said, because you've lost your advantage. How about dispelling that myth and that lie? That's what needs to be fixed. The lie. It's a lie. We are not pushed ahead of you because you're still in front of us.
Wait, that's the quotas. That's the issue.
Can I ask a question as like an analogy here? So if someone robs a bank and then they go to jail, do they just get out of jail and keep the money? No, that money is seized. You don't get to keep the profits from your crime. They stole those seats. It wasn't fair. They kept the seats initially, and they structured the districts initially in an unfair fashion. So then to cry foul that, oh, they tried to make it fair based on race. They almost made me give back the stuff I stole. Like it's almost it's almost admitting the crime, right?
It is.
Yeah. But see, you know what? And this is why they say in this country, race will always be an issue. So, and I'm gonna go righteously back to the foundation. And if your foundation has some deep character flaws, if you don't destroy that whole foundation and rebuild brand new, you'll never get past those flaws. You can add all the amendments that you want. You can add all the laws and try to justify and enforce and help, but you'll never overcome it because it's baked in your foundation, because your foundation wasn't baked in righteousness.
Well, even because to your point, that is why I think that things need to be amended and added on, because you cannot get rid of that. That's not the goal. The goal is not to change them. The goal is to progress and to help people move forward. Even though they still choose to be ignorant, evil, and all those other things.
But they did the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to address this, quote, enslaved African tragedy. That's what they did those amendments for. And then they had to do the Civil Rights Acts, okay? And that still hasn't gotten it done. So, you know, at the end of the day.
Like they say, perfection, progress, not perfection, because it'll never be perfect.
Yeah, and I still say that this situation is not going to destroy us. It's not going to hinder us at all. I don't believe
it's not, and it hasn't.
Yeah, and so if it's not going to hinder us, Then we never needed it. We never really needed it. Maybe we needed it back then, possibly. But I keep saying, this is where people like me who say it doesn't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, give me a third, fourth, or fifth option. That's why I always say that. Because as long as you keep going to one of these two parties for success, this country will never change. And
Richard, you're never, I can say this with confidence, because I've watched in many different fields, people trying to change the game. Now, people say we have a two-party system. That's not true. Is the independent lane, is that a party?
Mm-hmm.
Just like
hold on. Huh?
Yes.
You're being clever with your.
Okay, yeah, because Richard would answer. So,
because the independent. No. Let's be clear.
The independent what? You almost said it. Party.
There's an independent party. There's a Green Party. There's a peace and freedom party.
So there is no two-party system.
DSP.
Is my point. People like to say that to make their argument, but there are already more than one party.
As long as
and you know what more than one party does right now?
As long as you keep voting for one or two of the major parties, one of the two major political parties, you will not get substantial change in this country, except for the Obamacare. Since the 60s, that's the only thing that's been major. I'm gonna stand behind that.
You know who wrote Obamacare, right?
Who wrote it?
The Heritage Foundation.
Okay.
It was part of Mitt Romney's Romney Care, and then Obama.
Yeah,
and then Obama did a name switcheroo, and everybody was like, "Oh, I hate this. I'm like, it's a Republican health plan.
And remember,
Like,
the Democrats,
because his name
when
was
he got
on it.
elected in 2008, the Democrats told him, "We control both houses. It's time to get universal health care," and he backed off. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know why he backed off?
Neoliberalism is a bad idea. It doesn't work.
You know why he backed off? What's the game in your first term?
Get reelected?
There you go. So let me tell you from the life of a salesman. Never ask a question to someone you're trying to sell something that they can say no to.
Ask them how many they want, not if they want it.
You don't do that.
Like
So anybody's first term, you'll be hard pressed to see them get anything done other than getting a second term. Because now once you're in the second term, as we're living now, you can do whatever the hell you want. Because there ain't no third term that I got to worry about campaigning for. Right. But in your first term, you just get new to the job and you still campaigning trying to get to a second term.
So,
but Richard, I wanted to say this because I hear this often, and it really just drives me crazy.
I have a correction too. Don't let me forget.
What is reverse racism?
Oh, Rush Limbaugh.
All right.
What is reverse racism?
When white people feel like they're being discriminated against for the color because they feel like we're trying to make up for all the past sins.
Okay, you know what that's called by definition?
Mm-hmm.
Racism.
Prejudice.
No. My point is they are both racism.
Right.
But here's the white supremacy says we can't even share that.
Right.
So
we gotta call it reverse racism.
So you know what? No, right. Hold on. You're right.
Because you know what a reverse layup is?
On the other side of the basket. So
it's a layup.
Right, but check
this out.
The other
side of the basket.
You know what? And you know what? And this
and really, hold on. Let me finish this one point, Richard. Really, what a reverse layup is if you shoot the ball through the net and let it come out the other side. That's a reverse layup.
Well, here's what I do know.
What do you know?
Here's what I do know.
What do you know?
This country, with this decision, there's not going to be any peace. There's going to be a lot of complaining, and we still won't fix anything. I guarantee you that. You know, and we as Black people, this is not going to hurt us in no form or fashion with this gutting of the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of '65. It won't hurt us at all. Because I don't see nothing substantial that was done anyway.
It's wrong, but
okay. So The problems we were talking about in the 60s.
They're literally
Uh-huh.
painting out all of the districts red. Like you're like, it's not even
Right.
affecting people. Like they're literally doing it as
Yeah.
you're telling me that. Like right now,
No, you're
they're
right.
literally
You're
they're
right.
literally doing it. The
Yeah.
very first opportunity that they had to oppress and to subjugate, they're
Right.
taking it, and they
So-
are making sure that they're not going to miss it, and they're going to make sure that they get as much as they can,
Yes.
and see as much of it sticks as possible. That's
Yeah, and I read the
that's the plan.
numbers, Mikey. I read the numbers, how the numbers went up dramatically from the 83 up to I think 2023 regarding minority congressmen and women, and that was largely due to the Voting Rights Act 65. Yeah, I read that.
Did you see that 4 Black Republicans are leaving this year?
Yep.
Out of the House. Yeah.
Yep.
So here's interesting. Here's the funny thing, because I'm looking at this long term.
So they'll have
I'm-
0 in the House. 0.
Yeah.
0
Well,
Black Republicans.
well, I'm sure there'll be other African Americans running as Republican, possibly to make it to the House if they make it there.
So just to make
Oh.
some language plain, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is a critical provision, and this is just a quick overview. A procedure that results in the denial of abridgment of the right to vote based on color or race. The section applies nationwide it was permanent, meaning it does not have an expiration date, but it allows essentially, give me 1 second. I lost my place. But it allows essentially discrimination includes any electoral systems, right? It gives us access to the electoral system, right? And that's the representation that I'm talking about, that I've been talking about. When you've removed our voice from the electoral system, will our vote count at all?
Not
That's
in the
the question.
presidential election.
Or any.
That becomes the question.
Well, I
Because
just said presidential because that's the race to 270.
yeah,
You know, and if your vote is not impacting the electoral college, then
Well, wait a minute. Remember, I said a long time ago, I said get rid of the electoral college. I'll be in pure democracy.
yeah.
Get rid of
Oh.
it.
Um,
And
I
I
agree
don't,
with
believe- I don't agree with primaries. Put them all in one race and let's go.
Can I do the so you said earlier, I think you said like maybe twice. You said like they created a second district. So I think what you're talking about is the second district. They have 6 districts in Louisiana.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it's not like there was like all white ones and then like they made a black one.
Yeah. Right.
Can I share screen?
Yeah.
I have the map up.
Yeah, because they created the first one, and then black people complained, and then the courts enforced to make them a second, and the state legislature made a second, and then the non-African American voters complained about the second African American district, and that went up to the United States Supreme Court. Yeah, I'm aware.
So here's Louisiana. Let me zoom out a little bit. This pink district, this is MAGA Mike. This is Speaker Johnson's district. And as you can see, Natchitoches, Alexandria, Shreveport, Opelousas, and Baton Rouge all got, taken away what could have been in the 4 or in the 3 or in the 5. And they made one that was the 6. So now Mike Johnson lives right next to Shreveport, but there are no black people in his district. So this is what they're doing. So as far as like you're saying, like, oh, they'll just make a map that does X or does Y. This game plan has already been talked about and well studied and documented. This was the fail safe. Like if they couldn't convince everybody with Trump's promises of free money from Doge and rampant racism and the mass deportations, when those 2 red meat steaks didn't feed them, he had this under the Heritage Foundation had this under their hat, and they're just like, well, we'll just make sure that there's no Democratic districts, and then that way we won't lose.
So okay. So what I said was 1 out of the 6 was African American, a minority majority district.
2 and 6 polled black and voted black.
Wait a minute. Let me go back to what I said. I said initially they created 1 out of 6 that was an African American minority district. Black folks complained. Let me finish. Black people complained, and they took it to court, and the court said you will create a second out of that 6, a second minority district. and they did. And then the non-African American voters took them to court, and it went up to the United States Supreme Court, and it got reversed back. Now, that's what I said from the very beginning of this conversation. So I'm not disputing what you say about the heritage situation, because it probably was a method. But remember what I said when Texas decided to do a redistrict, and then California said, well, we have to follow. And I said, if you stand on principle, you should only do your redistrict based on the census and the population, so your districts are kind of equal proportion. That's the righteous way of doing that if you're going to do that.
Where's the righteousness coming from with politics, though?
Okay.
This isn't, unfortunately, this is the United States of America.
All right.
There's nothing righteous about this country, and it's dealing with people.
Was that
And
map righteous?
And that's the unfortunate truth, right? Every time we pivot to try and make progress, there is more regression that's had. There is no righteousness, right?
Right.
So
but I'm saying when people say, hey, Donald Trump, you're out of control, you're trying to force Texas to do a redistrict so you can grab seats, that's not right, because it's not based off the census that was taken.
okay.
And we say, okay. But then when California says, well, if that's what you're going to do, we're no better than your behavior. We'll do the same. We'll imitate your behavior. And now it's a rat race all the way through to the very end. That's what I'm saying about when you stand. I stand on principle. Okay. Just because you go out here and sell 2 kilos of cocaine doesn't mean that I should. Well, I'm not going to let Mr. Glass go out here and sell 2 kilos of cocaine and I stand back. I'm going to go out here and sell me 2 kilos of cocaine too.
You got to sell 4.
Yeah, you got to 4.
I was about to say you got to flip it to 4.
Yeah.
You
No,
gotta
however you want to do the
take
numbers.
a profit. No.
Richard, you gotta step on that. You gotta step on that thing, man. You gotta
Right.
step
So
on
anyway, the only thing I'm saying is,
You
if you
Like
go out
that,
here and if you go out here, listen, if you go out here and push somebody off the bridge and say, hey, look at me, I don't go out here and say, well, I'm gonna push somebody off the bridge and say, no, you look at me too. No, I'm gonna stand on principle and say, I'm not gonna push nobody off the bridge.
You gonna stand on business.
Business, yeah.
So,
And I
so-
appreciate that. I appreciate
Sorry,
the
I'm
fairness.
late, folks.
No problem.
I'm sorry, I'm
So,
late, folks.
hey, and I'm
that's
glad
the
Mr.
problem
Brooks
with
is
taking a
gone.
nap in the midday.
All right.
Jump in there.
The
Let's hear you.
issue, this wouldn't be an issue if everybody just shows up with their driver's license or ID card when they go vote, right? Like, come on, man. Like this shouldn't be an issue at all. Like, yes, you have to have your ID to vote. That it should be that way. Period. You know what I mean?
you got a
Like,
constitution. You got a
black,
constitution
white,
on you.
Asian. I'm just saying, like, that should be the law of the land.
Got a constitution on you.
So we hadn't got to that part, Mr. Brooks. So check this out. When we talk about voting and minorities and racism and all this, check this out.
Mhm.
Because I've been following this closely. I wanted to see if Vivek Ramaswamy could make it out of the primary in Ohio.
Yeah,
And
Vivek.
he did. So what
Yes,
I
he
want to
did.
see is will the fact that he's Indian hold him back from winning that governor's race in Ohio?
The
I'm really
answer is yes.
I don't think so. As the resident Ohioan,
Listen, where are y'all living?
no.
What country are y'all
as
in?
a prominent Indian.
This is the United States of America. It absolutely will hold him back. He's already been taking what we call sable rounds. People have been getting at him already because he's not Christian and he's not
Tell you what,
white.
tell you what.
I don't
yes.
worship your
You know what?
sand
You know
demons.
what? Hey,
There's
check this
friction
out, Mr.
that he's
Brooks.
having. There's friction that he's having because he's not fitting the stereotypical white
So I'm
male
gonna take
Christian
you off of you, Mr. Glass.
stereotype.
So let's
That's
lay a bet down.
unfortunate
Let's lay a, hey, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Glass, let's lay a bet down.
I told y'all I don't bet.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh no, you betting now.
I
And
don't bet.
and my man down in Florida, Byron Donalds. Now, I'm going to bet
Oh, my.
anybody on this panel that one of those two will win governorship. One of those two will win.
Listen,
One of those two
what I'll say
will
is
win governorship.
I would hope that one of them could win, right? I would hope.
Look, Richard, I'll take the parlay. Neither
Okay,
one.
explain that to me because I don't understand how to do a parlay.
Parlay is multiple bets in one bet.
Oh my goodness.
See, that's
I need
why I
to
don't
get
bet.
it.
So the bet is
Somebody teach me how to bet so I can win this.
over bet.
What you said, Mike?
Oh, if I bet on Donalds to win,
No, you wouldn't have bet if either one of them wins.
Right. I want to bet if either one wins. Right.
Yep. That's the
Okay.
strength.
He's so
Easy money.
That's the strength.
So how does?
Because I don't see, but look, Byron Donalds, man, no, we've been through this, Richard, with Byron Donalds.
You know,
Are you kidding me? Do you understand the opposition research that is going to be? I mean, it's going to be très magnifique. The black Nazi stuff. Oh,
no, that wasn't him. That was Lieutenant Governor in South North Carolina. That's not Byron Donalds. You got no.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
was
North Carolina dude with his
hold on.
with his Pornhub email.
Yeah.
That was North Carolina. That was North Carolina.
Good freaking.
I wish America was at the point of progression to say that we don't need these fail safes. I wish we were there. I truly do. The unfortunate reality, and like Rich, I'll be honest with you, I can't really argue against what you're saying. Like if you're gonna shoot at me, if you're gonna kill me, just get it, just do it, do the deed. Don't try and slow boy me. I see what you're doing here, right? Because now you're kind of slowing down my ability to defend myself, and I don't want to do that. I want to be able to fight you on fair footing. Right, and that's what I see was happening. But for us to think that the United States of America Supreme Court, and I don't agree with the ruling, but I have to follow it, just like other situations, right? For us to think that this was the right decision, that we are post-racism and racist from the highest court in the land, making this type of decision, is being purposely and willfully blinded to the partiality that this court has directly played, because they understood that the Republicans are going to lose the Senate. They are going to lose the House. And so to me, this is their shoot. This is their play to assist the system and its continuing furthering.
Wait a minute. I don't mean to cut you off. See, you're talking from both sides of your mouth. Because on one minute, hold on.
Left and right, because I open my mouth when I talk.
You said the Democrats will take the House and the Senate. But then when I do the reading over this ruling, if all these states and who are quote in the South or whatever, if all the states were to do this redistricting to help President Trump, the Republican states, allegedly, I say allegedly, they would gain 19 seats. So are you really sure that the Democrats are going to really still win this in the House? Are you really sure about that?
According to you, it wouldn't matter as long. According to you, it wouldn't matter as long as people came out and voted, right?
No,
as long as you just go out and voted, according to you.
No, that's not me. No, that's Stephanie and Lynn. No, that's not true. Stephanie and Lynn.
You said it's not going to affect us unless I was driving and I heard it wrong. I will apologize.
No. Wait a minute. No. I said it won't affect us. But as far as affecting the Democrats and Republicans and who's going to win the House and the Senate, you are so determined to say that the Democrats are going to take both. But if all these states that can now do a redistrict, because some have already had their primary, but the ones who's getting ready to have it, they can stop it, pause it, and redo it. If they all could have redid their district and picked up 19 seats, allegedly, I don't see the Democrats winning.
Well, yeah, because House. Again, now you're putting people in insurmountable odds. Now the whole game is completely different, and this goes back to what I said a while ago about this bastard rigging our voting system. One way or another, the voting system was going to be rigged because he's afraid of impeachment. I ain't gotta be nice. These motherfuckers ain't been nice to me.
No. You gotta be honest about it.
I am not obligated.
I look at this situation.
To give them any form of nicety that's inside of me when these motherfuckers playing in my face, and I don't owe them any type of respect for it.
California did this, and they didn't expect that.
Well, no, that's another law. That's a whole nother line of BS.
They had a referendum in California. The people of California had a say.
Literally called Texas. You had a president of the United States of America that called a motherfucker a governor. to
Have it.
redistrict. Stop skipping that part of the story. Because that's how all
and
of
then
this
you look
started.
at it like you like they're talking about tactics. I guess we're talking about strategy right now, and the Democrats didn't think the Republicans would do that in return, and they
What?
They got out strategized right now. And
No,
second point. Wait a minute.
Pause.
Second point.
No, that is
As
not
the
the
only
true
person
story.
again from Ohio.
That's not the
How
truth
many U.S.
of
presidents
the
are from
story.
Ohio?
President Donald Trump called
Yep.
Texas. That's why we are here. It's not because of a Democratic president. It's not because President Barack Obama sent somebody to Iran, because he didn't. It's not because of a Democrat that done anything. President Donald Trump called the governor in Texas
Greg
and
Abbott.
asked for more seats.
The good old boys.
Hold on,
Weird.
hold on.
And they
Jay,
obliged.
Jay,
Why
before Brooks can even refute this, it's already written down in Project 2025. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, I
and
read
answer.
that. I read that.
Yeah,
We-
go ahead
we
and
read it
answer,
online
Brooks. Act
a couple years
like
ago.
they didn't plan this when they literally wrote it down. Go ahead.
They did, but what I'm asking is, if we know that President Donald Trump, my president, your president, our president, literally made a phone call to Texas to ask for more seats, how can you start your story with the Democrats in California? That's all I'm asking.
My answer
Because
to
there's
that
no truth
question
in
is
that.
simple. I hear you. My reply to that is, again, this is about strategy. He pretty much out here, and as the other individual, I think it was Mr. President, who said, "Hey, the Republicans are going to win on this strategy. They're going to win on this strategy." And again, I'll go back to my Ohio point when we talk about Vivek. We've elected Ohio the most U.S. presidents, 8 to be specific.
Okay.
There's a reason
I
why.
thought it was not.
And then the reason why, as a person who grew up there, lived there all my whole life, is because we look at different sides of the people's culture, background. You look at the 8 U.S. presidents and how different they are.
Are
in
you
Ohio,
about to make
from
me
Ohio.
pull up some of Vivek
time
Ramaswamy's town hall meetings where they were crucifying his ass because he wasn't a white Christian? Because I'll go to YouTube and pull him up.
They
Hey,
said he
no,
worshipped sand
hey, no,
demons.
wait. Hey, Mr. Glass.
I didn't say we were nice people,
Oh.
because we're not.
Mr. Glass.
Fair point. Okay, touche.
Mr. Glass,
They're
you
aware.
are correct. When he was in that primary, they was going to work on him. But here's where it gets interesting about
That was turning point.
Ohio. Now that he's made it out of the primary, then President Trump should have no hesitation on endorsing him. Should have no hesitation. Well, let's wait to see if President Trump gives him that endorsement. And let's wait to see if these people who are so precious against Vivek, let's see if President Trump comes and sets them straight. That's going to be interesting to see.
He earned the actual endorsement. Let me be honest about that. From the moment President Trump was on the campaign trail, Vivek Ramaswamy was with him. He was riding with him. So he earned the endorsement, even with working with trying to work with Elon and then getting fired and pushed out. He still earned it. I'm just throwing that out there. He earned it. What I'm saying, however, and this isn't taking anything away from
And
Ohio.
you think about that, like where is our vice president currently from? Ohio, right? So all these
Appalachia.
idiots out here
Appalachia.
do bad stuff to the president.
East Coast. That's East Coast.
Appalachia.
Hey, Lynn, that's East Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's
Okay.
Appalachia.
You are right. Hey, you are
Oh my
right.
God.
He already endorsed him. You're right. President Trump has already endorsed Vivek
Good. He
Ramaswamy.
deserved it. He honored that guy worked.
Hey,
Yeah, he deserved that.
I approve of him approving of him. He's done great for all these candidates. Go ahead, put a big old T stamp on there, baby. Yeah, get out there and do the YMCA. You know the people, they love it. They love
Sarcasm
when they dance.
does not
They
get you
can't
votes,
stick.
and
They
this is
can't
why you
stand
keep
it.
on losing.
It's
So-
cool. Yo, take them out there. Go dance with
The
them.
question-
It'll work
the
great.
question-
$18
again-
gas. Go ahead, take them out there.
So, Brooks, I might have missed this while I was driving. What is your take on the gutting of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Section 2?
Again, all I care about specifically to answer this question, and I know it might be not what you're trying to hear, is that every single individual, black, white, Chinese, Asian, I don't give a crap, has to have an ID to vote. Then what is the problem? Nothing.
I can actually see where you're coming from with that. Oddly enough, I can see where he's coming from with that. What you got, Mike?
Objection, Your Honor. The 24th Amendment, ratified on January 23rd, 1964, prohibits both Congress and the states from conditioning the rights to vote in federal elections on payment of a poll tax or other types of tax. Are IDs free, sir?
Nope.
They are
IDs
not.
considered a poll tax, actually.
I'm sorry, sir. Must have misunderstood the question. Are
No, he heard the question. He
IDs
don't answer questions.
free, sir?
What?
I
If you make
answered. I
IDs,
was asked
if you
and
make IDs
answered.
free,
IDs are not considered a poll tax.
if they are not free to obtain at the point of service, then they are not free. So then it is a cost, which makes it a cost brought onto you by the government, which we normally call a tax.
You can't spin the 24th Amendment to your viewpoint. The question was asked and answered.
It's
IDs
a-
are not
I-
considered
I-
a poll tax.
I gotta kind of agree with Brooks on this one, and it becomes more of a rabbit hole legalistic type of deal, because you're not getting that ID just so that you can vote. Maybe the ID is your driver's license. You're getting that ID so that you can drive, or maybe you're getting that ID so that you can work somewhere, or maybe
Why
that
don't they-
ID.
Why don't they come up with a voting ID?
A
I
national,
don't disagree.
a
I
national
don't
free.
ID.
disagree.
They send us that card,
Yep,
that voter registration card without a picture. Put a picture on it
Same thing with
and
my
send
car.
it to the people so they can vote.
The state sends me my registration for my
Yeah.
vehicle, and it's just on a
Yep.
card, and there's no photo, no nothing. That's fine. If you want there to be a national federalized voter /
Yes, but you have to
citizenship
get your
ID, kind of
registration
like
With
kind of like
your
a normal-
ID, by using
kind of
your
costs less
ID.
than the
that's
ballroom.
that's perfectly fine.
that's a-
But
that's a
that's
dumb
perfectly fine. But to ask for that
millennial
at the polling station is incorrect.
ideology. Like, actually try to prove your point. Bury your
Brooks, you-
head in the
you-
sand
you're
like an
kinda
ostrich.
breaking up.
Go ahead.
You were kind
I'll
of breaking
say
up. We couldn't hear everything
Bury
you
your
said.
head in the sand. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're better. You're better.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yes.
I will say that ideology is a square peg in a round hole, like burying your head in the sand like an ostrich. And in order to hear my point of view, please. I'm right, like trying to, spin the 24th Amendment that was made hundreds of years ago. And when the point is literally laid out for you, it's just
So if it-
period. It's done. That's the millennial generation of like, oh, hear us, please. Maybe I'm Generation X, and we just don't give a shit.
So, do you have a passport?
Vote.
Do you have a passport?
Of course, I have a passport.
I mean, you say of course, but you're actually
Yes, I
in
do.
the upper echelon. Over 50% of Americans don't have a passport. And aside from a passport,
Sorry about
they
you.
need to, and aside
damn
from a
luck.
passport, other than that, people have to show like birth certificate to register to vote. So if you don't have that paper on you or not
Good for
privileged
them.
like you to be in that top,
And
okay. So hey, right wingers, you like it, I love it. It's your voters that are going to suffer from this, but this is voter suppression. So
I'm
it's
not
either
even
you
a
want
right
more people to
winger.
vote or
I'm just saying something normal.
okay. I'm saying the right wingers are the ones that are going to suffer the most from this. Because
Well,
let me tell you something.
California?
The
hold
state
on.
is not going to just give you ID. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, you got some parking tickets.
Wait a minute.
Get
You
a
got
birth
some this,
certificate,
you got some
get
that.
a
Hey,
bill,
hold
and
on,
go
wait,
to
wait,
the DMV, show your and get an ID.
Hold on a second.
That's
Lynn
not
said it's
free.
cheaper
That's
than
not
a-
free.
Hey,
Period.
hey, hold on a second. Wait. See, this is where it gets
I'm
tricky.
glitching.
This is where it gets tricky. Because common sense tells me you should have to be able to verify who you are when you vote. Common sense tells me that. Okay, and I think that's a winning issue for the
Amen.
Republicans. Now, when it comes to this cost, because most people are not getting passports, we're lucky to get a person to have a driver's license or a state ID. We're lucky to have that. And here's the funny thing about this. As long as you don't really have that information, you kind of are not on the grid. So I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. government said, oh, you know what? You're right. Maybe it's not a poll tax, but maybe some people feel like it is. So we're going to allow you to get a free ID,
For
a
voting
state
purposes.
ID or a national, listen to this, or a national ID. Now we can track you whenever you want since you want to vote so bad. See, I can see that coming.
What? I don't know what everybody else is up to, but what do you think? I'm going to like the crack dealer and showing my ID to the security
There you go.
camera. Like, what
Yeah.
do you think? I'm like checking in on
All
my
they're doing with that
Facebook
voting ID is
at,
voting.
crack den. Like, what are we talking about? No one
Some
does
people-
illegal things and uses
people-
their government
listen
ID
to
to
Some
prove
people-
that they can do it.
Some people on the far right and on the far left want to live off the grid, and I respect them for that. But what I will say is, if this recent Supreme Court decision is going to really help the Republicans gain all these extra seats, if all these states could redistrict, but they all can't because some have already had their primary. Some said they're not going to do it, but President Trump hasn't called that state yet. So I
Indiana's
think
not doing it.
Indiana's not doing it.
They're not doing it.
I think they actually changed their mind. I'm not even kidding.
I think they did.
Because
And South
they
Carolina-
were initially, when he first started reaching out for folks, they said, no, we're not good. They sent it to the people. The people were like protesting and stuff. I think very recently they just overrode that.
Yeah, because the 7 people he endorsed, 5 won.
One. 5 out of 7 won.
The state senators, 5 of his people he endorsed won that. South Carolina
He's
is
going to go
saying-
back to the people that won and get them to change it.
No. The 5 people who he endorsed are going to do the redistricting. They're for
Right.
redistricting.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
right.
at something that came out 12 hours ago, and I'll look at some other stuff in a little bit. 7 Indiana
Carolina.
legislators face Trump-backed primary challenges after bucking him on redistricting.
Oh, so they're going to try to go around them.
That was his
Yeah.
get back.
Yeah,
No, the people he endorsed beat those
5 out
incumbents
of 7.
who did not want to do the redistricting, who spoke out against.
oh, okay.
Listen. Here's one thing I'll say with everybody on this podcast tonight. There's no missing link. There's no dummies on this podcast. And when people are watching this, and we may be disagreeing on stuff, and we looking stuff up and we're reading, there's no dummies on this. So I want people to understand that this is not an easy issue to talk about regarding the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, and then its consequences, and this race between the Democrats and the Republicans, and all this redistricting that is caused. To me, this is madness. But as Mr. Lynn would tell me, how can you call it madness when the person who's leading the country
Leadership.
Well,
He takes a
and
seat.
you know, we all have a different definition of leadership. So
No, I think there's
No,
one
we don't.
definition.
No, we
It's just
don't.
that people,
No, we don't.
they put their spin on it.
I can't wait till this midterm is over because I am just worn out. I mean, it's not even close yet, and I'm already worn out.
You ready for the impeachments? I am too.
Oh man. Look,
Can't
you
wait.
broke.
Mikey, all
You
right,
broke, man.
Mikey. Yeah, if the Democrats take the House, you're right. I've been saying that.
I heard millennial get dropped earlier. Guess who's the biggest demographic? Oh, some furniture gonna be getting changed around here.
well, that's
You mean more so than the ballroom? I'm
Oh.
sorry.
You mean the $1 billion out of our pockets? We told you so. Can we just get a round of applause for the "Oops, I Fell for It Again" awards that we need
And
to give
then
out to everybody?
we saw-
I told y'all
We
he
saw
was
a
gonna
clip
make
of
y'all
him
pay for that.
today
All right,
saying
Mike,
that,
you got that one, Mike.
that he paid for the ballroom. He said,
No. That was them. That's what he said initially.
"Yeah, I paid for it. I'm paying for it."
Like the dude
My
under the
friends.
bleachers. I love you, girl.
Well,
So let me
Mr.
say
President,
this.
wait. Time out, guys.
Go
Can
ahead, Brooks. Go
we
ahead,
go
Brooks.
back to what was? I just missed what you were said. You were about to say a golden nugget. How can we call this madness? And then when we got a president, I thought you were going to say we have a president that is mad, but I don't know what you said. So I was so excited.
I didn't finish. I didn't
Uh,
finish.
Mic drop.
I didn't finish. I just said I said this is madness, but we have a president, and then I stopped.
And
right
he
there.
took a sip
Oh,
of his
Man, I was
cocaine
hanging on it. I was gonna
induced
say, hey. I was gonna say, hey, you know what? Look, if you call the president mad or the Republican Party mad, think of how idiotic the Democratic Party is in order to get our Mr. President, I would say Donald Trump back into office. How mad, how stupid do they have to be in order to get him back?
You know what? That's a great point. Here's the funny thing about this. From his track record, from his first presidency and these first full 2 years of his second presidency, I am so interested to see, with all this gerrymandering and him, the $1 billion for the ballroom is a hole in the ground, so you have to finish it. That was a smart move what he did. He dug a hole in the ground. Now you have to finish it.
No, it's not smart. But okay.
No. Look at it from his perspective.
Yes.
He put a
How
hole.
about, can you look at
about
it from
strategy.
our
He just
perspective for once
outthinks
as
the
a
Democratic
taxpayer?
Party.
When you look at it from
No,
our
because your perspective sucks. Your perspective got them back in the office.
Once you
Your
are being
perspective not only
so
got them back in the
immature
office,
by
he still
calling
wins
people
the
stupid
news
and
cycle
saying that they
every
suck. Nobody's
single
calling you
time.
stupid and saying you
Okay.
suck.
He's okay.
So yeah, be respectful.
I'm fine. He's fine.
Mike, hey,
I'm
Mikey,
not talking about
Mikey.
an individual, and I have all due the highest respect for everybody on this panel. I have the
Mikey.
highest respect, and I think if you really know me, you know that. Like yourself, Lady
Hey.
Stephanie, I have highest respect for everybody on this panel. I'm just
Mikey.
saying, what I'm watching as an independent is a Democratic Party that does stupid things over and over and over again, and then they expect the American
Kind of
people
like
to
starting a war in Iran for no
oh,
reason.
nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Hey,
Kind
So-
of like
President-
that.
here's what I'll say. Hey, here's what I'll say to Mikey Famine.
Yes.
Mikey, I deeply respect you, and
We're
without young people like you, I don't know where my life would be. And when the vote comes up for that Social Security to be extended, I know, Mikey, you'll do the right thing. I know you will.
I got one even better for you. We're gonna be on UBI, baby. All these tech billionaires, kiss those profits goodbye. We're taking it, baby. We're gonna nationalize them bad boys. We're gonna nationalize.
Hey, hold on. I don't want.
We're
Hey, I
gonna
don't want
nationalize
to be audited.
oil.
Hold on, Mikey.
Hold
Don't bring
on,
that.
It's gonna
Hey, don't
be
bring the
great.
CIA on this shit.
Universal health
I don't
care.
want to be
It's gonna
audited.
be
I don't
great.
want to be audited, Mikey.
We'll
Slow
be
down.
We'll finally not be a third world country. We'll finally step into the little clogs of our Northlandic cousins. We'll be able to finally have a decent, dignified living in this country instead of people in their 60s doing Uber Eats, working at the deli,
Okay,
doing
Randall.
walking dogs, and then she got to take care of 3 grandkids on the weekends. That
Yeah,
ain't right.
Mikey,
We can
And
do better.
I heard you.
Walmart greeter. Yeah.
Mikey,
Right.
I heard you say that whatever candidates you're running that's going to make sure that our Social Security stays funded, that you're going to be voting for him or her or he, she, they, them. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I mean, like I said, you're gonna have so much more than Social Security. brother.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna take care of everybody, and we're gonna stop
Under my
fighting everyone.
administration.
Yeah, vote for me,
So
ruler of earth.
here comes
thank-
the imbalance portion, right? And what I try to do is I try to levy everything out in equal parts, because yes, the Democrats do some things that they've done some things that just aren't the smartest whatsoever. But if you continue to leave out the ignorant parts that the Republicans have done, well, then it begins to sound one-sided. And I get how it's hard for me to argue against your point when you say the Democrats have done some stupid stuff. Paraphrasing, because you call people stupid. I'm not calling them stupid. They've done stupid things, right? They could have capitalized on a lot of this stuff. But
done
again,
stupid stuff so much so that like they hope people forget.
but hold on, because we're over a year into this presidency.
Damn,
Over a year, and I'm trying to figure out what the Republicans have done for the average citizen, including this gutting, because this was a Republican court that did this to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Section 2, right? Everybody else, those 6 did this, the other 3 dissented. So I'm trying to figure out what the Republican Party right now has done for the average American person.
Put them into a war.
ding, ding, ding. Oh,
Put them into a war. That's what they've done.
Such
That's their legacy so
none of
far.
this nonsense can happen for a long time.
I'm sorry, say that again one more time.
Hey, you know, person, didn't Obama have a chance to name a Supreme Court person, or Biden, one of the two?
No, he didn't. He
And
got blocked.
didn't do it. He just waited.
He got blocked.
Mitch McConnell.
No, he didn't have a chance.
But I'm asking
He got
again.
blocked. Okay, I
He
was
got
asking a
blocked.
question. I was asking a question.
He got blocked. You know who
Yeah.
blocked him?
Mitch McConnell
Mitch McConnell.
is about to lose his seat.
Yep.
But what has this, without going back to Biden, Obama, so on and so forth, what has MAGA Mike and his Republican Party done? Because they hold all of the cards in President Trump's words. What have they done? What have they done for the average American citizen right now?
Jay Glass, I'm going to give you my favorite response to that. Because if you say nothing, somebody will jump on here and give you one little nugget. So I'm going to say my favorite, next to nothing. Next to nothing. Because when you say next to nothing, nobody can even offer up the little tiddlywink that they were going to give you.
So just like the 2024 election, hi Zoe.
Here we go. He said
I was going to say the funding of the black schools.
So
They didn't do that.
Funding of funding of black the Divine Nine
You
schools.
know what they're called? Brooks, do you know what those black schools are called?
HBC.
Do you know what those black
I
schools
do. I'm
those
blanking
Negro
it right now.
schools? Do you know what those Negro
had it.
schools
I
are
do.
called?
My
had
uncle
it.
coaches at Lane University.
Don't say that, Lynn.
Do you know what those Negro schools are
Dog.
called?
Oh my god.
Do you know why those Negro schools exist?
Oh my god.
You had
Because
it.
white people wouldn't let us go to their school.
You mean they still don't? Or kind
No,
of
they
do?
wouldn't.
Or they kind of still don't?
They wouldn't. And some of them still don't. That
Kind
is
of still
true.
don't. Yeah.
Wow, Richard,
I-
that's a
look.
big statement.
Look, my state, my original state, Pennsylvania, I just read an
awakening.
article where they had a vote on having an all-white high rise. And it lost by one vote. It was like 102 to
Yep.
101. An all-white high rise in the Keystone State.
This 2026 midterm will be the most exciting midterm
Since the
of
last
maybe
midterm.
U.S. history. Of maybe U.S. history.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
There.
I'm still waiting for that answer.
Okay,
What you-
if I may say something. I think a lot of people are gonna get fired. We've been waiting for a long time, I guess. I don't know if you guys have been
What is-
hearing, but a lot of people are gonna get fired.
Hello?
All this, us Hispanics, the Latino vote is gonna be with the black vote. And it's gonna be a real interesting situation because I think I don't know if racism is alive or not,
Fine.
Of course it is.
but
Well,
I feel like it's one of those things where like they want to put the cat back in the bag, if that makes sense, and the cat is out and about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you can't get that cat back in there.
and you can't get the cat back in there because lately gas prices went through the roof. Like, I can't even go.
We're getting a new ballroom. We're paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, if they gonna be dancing La Bamba, I don't think so. So I mean, that's weird.
We ain't
All
gonna
the
never
all,
dance
So
in
we
there.
gonna finally do the black and brown thing? Is that what you're telling us?
I think it's
We
one
gonna
of
do the
those
black and
times.
brown thing finally?
Yeah.
Because the
For
black
me,
and brown is the majority.
yeah, I think for the most part, like yesterday, I was watching Glory, the movie Glory. Yeah, I was watching it just to remind myself of how long it's been since we have been like not united. Like the native people, right? Because I'm a little native myself. That's why I'm real wild with it. It's hard to for me to like compose myself sometimes. But I think about what was that one author back in the day that was like real smart with it? As in Booker T. Washington. I think about I think about that man and how hard it must have been for him to get educated around those times and to reach across the aisle, if you will. But I think about all those people that had to bite, the bullet, for lack of a better term. We really do need to emphasize how the cities have to change the way of thinking, and particularly youth. Many, and I want to say this short and sweet, shared on how literacy right now in the inner cities is at an all-time, like,
Low.
we're struggling. People can't stick around and read a book from beginning to end, and the wealth of the wealth is in the reading. This whole AI stuff is changing a lot of people's minds. There's a lot of business that's changing super fast, and in order for the minorities to excel, we have to get really good at literacy, but not only just any kind of literacy, like professional literacy, the small print. We need lawyers, we need educators, and we need to be people that think outside the box more than ever. Those are the people that right now, that's why I go to the library. Like, even though my kids are like, why the library, why the library, because the library is where it's at. And reading books while everybody's holding a phone and a laptop, and that's great and all, but there's nothing like sitting down and reading a book and really finding the history of who we are as people. Because for the most part, I bet you anything, the youth doesn't even know how the struggles that got us to this level, to this point, the sacrifices that have been made, those silent wars that if you say something, it could be potentially, oh, yeah, you're out of the business. Why? Because you want change. We all wish to have change. But what does that change feel like if we have the leadership that we have right now,
Well,
where they got us preoccupied with wars across, over there, super far away, ancient wars that have nothing to do with our status quo. So
so
with
that
that
brings
in
me
mind,
back
I
to the
want to ask a
question that
serious
I asked.
question to the panel. What is it going to take to finally get people to represent us, to actually represent the barrios or the hood that we
So,
talk about?
so,
Because I go to the hood and to the block and I'm comfortable, but once you go into those other areas, you feel out of place, and it's because you catch certain eyes looking at you like, oh, he's not very smart, so I'm only going to give him so much respect, or I'm not even
So,
going to look
you
at him
asked
in
the
the
question.
eyes
You asked the
because
question. You
he's not to
you gotta
my
let them answer.
standard, because
so,
of
You
my
gotta let
color of
them
my
answer. You
skin,
gotta let them
or
answer.
the name that I have, or the way that I dress, the way that I talk. The
hey,
popular
Zoe,
culture
So,
and
so
Latin people and the African American country has to
Oh,
be united.
oh,
The South and the
you gotta
West
pause
Side
out.
has to be
whoa.
united. Time.
Can you hear us, though? Jay
Can you
Glass is
hear
trying to
me?
get your attention.
hey, Zoe. To answer your question, you can be recognized, and minorities can be recognized when we stop voting for the major two
I
parties.
can't hear you guys.
Ah, I thought so. Okay,
Can you hear us now?
I was
you
wondering.
can't.
By the
You
way,
can't.
somebody asked me
That's right.
HBCUs, but like I don't know if anybody could hear me.
So listen to this. I want you to hear these numbers because I thought about this. So allegedly, by the 2024 population, There's 340 million Americans. 20% are Hispanic. 7.5% are white.
What? Say that number again.
57.5%, or you can round to 58%, is white. 6.7% is Asian. Now, here's the number for black people. Okay.
14?
No.
Well,
I told my friend, I said, we were at 12.6, and she refused to accept the numbers. She says there's more black people than 12.6% of America. I said, well, that's what the numbers say. She said, I don't trust the numbers. I said, okay, you win the conversation then. Because if you go to different sources for your numbers,
I've seen as high as 14.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and 40 million.
Okay,
which are both holding steady for decades. Amazingly enough.
And so what she said was, you mean to tell me that sisters are having less kids? Now, allegedly, I say allegedly, per TV, teenage pregnancy has gone down for the last few years.
You know whose presidency went down with the most?
Who?
Obama.
Okay. So
Trump.
I
don't know. It's guessing.
So
I was guessing the answer.
All right, I'll stop there. Y'all go ahead. I was just giving y'all some numbers because if we're only 12.6% black, then that's all you getting as far as representation. So if we go to that Congress in the House, is it 438 seats? How many seats are in the House?
435.
435. Thank you. So if I do 13%, I can't do it in my head.
Then do it.
So let me just go 435 times 13%. So we need to get about 57 seats.
Yep, to represent.
Right. Now, when I said initially that, where did I have it at? That we had 26 in 1993 and we jumped up to 90 in 2023. Okay. And that's for all minorities, not just blacks. So it's kind of tricky on that. So as long as we can hold 58 seats, I'm just going to round to 60 seats, we should still be okay. But maybe we can't hold that many. Maybe our numbers will go down below 60, way below.
I'm still waiting for an answer.
What? What's the question?
About what have the Republicans done?
I asked, what have the Republicans done?
I told you next to nothing.
Okay.
I
So
said HBCUs.
okay.
Next to nothing.
What do you mean HBCUs? What did he
What, gave him some money?
President
Look,
Trump
they
gave
get money every year from the government.
HBCUs for
Oh,
10
when
years.
They
he
get
talked
money every
about
year. They
Yeah,
get money
he
every
was
year from the government.
He didn't
they do.
invent
And not
It
only that,
stopped.
but
And
there's
Trump
also the
continued it.
movement of
It had
the money
stopped.
being funneled to PWIs
stopped?
as well, and not
That
actually.
money had stopped, and then Trump continued it. That's kind of tricky on that
That's
HBCU.
not
10 years.
how
The
that
money never stopped.
That's
No.
not how that went. Actually,
No.
President
He
Trump
lied
tried
and
to
told
put
you
it out of
that.
the budget. There were other representatives who forced it back in so that it could actually get allocated. During the course of allocation, it also went out to PWIs because of the BIPOC populations that they had as well. So it didn't go only to HBCUs. HBCUs got a very small amount of that actual money that went out.
So this website
The
says
8 Ivy League schools,
So
got
this is
more than all the HBCUs combined.
Right.
This one website is saying Trump shifts 435 million to HBCUs as other minority-serving colleges lose funding. Now, this is what this one website is saying. So
Okay.
when we go to all these different websites saying all these different things, and no one knows what to believe because we don't trust.
They
there's
get,
just so
but
much-
listen,
Yeah,
So
they
but
get
it-
money every year
what's the
from the
source?
government.
It was at 350, and he cut it, and then he added the 350 minus the 495. So he added like a little bit after, but he cut out everybody else's stuff and then added a little bit on top of the thing that he had to put back. And he said, "Look at how much I did for the school." Like, no, you got caught.
Yeah, there you go. You got caught
put your
red-handed.
hand in the cookie jar. And then he'd be like, "Oh, look at how much I did for the school." Like, yeah, you better put some interest on
Used
there.
to be is like they have to go for a
And then
funding
lied and
request
said
every
that
year,
nobody did it before
and
him.
he now set it up for 10 years. That's the truth. He, my family
So-
again coaches at a HBCU Lane University, and
They
then,
get
like,
funding
and
every year. They get funding
They
every
used to
year
go-
from the government.
He's not
they used to
special.
have to go and request funding
They
every.
get it every year, whether you ask for it or they just give it to you. They get
And
it.
now they don't have to ask for it for 10 years.
You know what? Coming from him, they might have to ask later on this year.
Yeah.
You know
And
what?
not just
That's
that, but
kinda-
let's not
that's his
forget.
message.
Hey, you know
They
what?
might have to ask in 2 weeks.
You know what?
Gave it with a
I'm not
B.
going to argue this point because we can all go on the internet and see different things saying different information regarding this money to the HBCUs, and that's where the country is right now. You can go to the internet and hear and see anything and everything about any situation, and there's 100 sources on the internet. Sometimes they agree, but usually they don't, and they have us arguing and fighting among ourselves. But
You
here's
know how I
what we
know
do.
they get money every year?
Yeah.
Because every year white people complain about it.
Every single year.
Every year. They don't skip 1 year. Every year.
Well,
Ain't missed
They
one
complain.
yet.
What do we need HBCUs for? Slavery
So-
and all that is over with. Racism
But
is
let-
over.
But let me ask you guys this.
Wait. Can I go to the Black Enterprise? Would y'all believe if I go to the Black Enterprise site and read off that?
I would have believed the last site that you had. But go ahead. Go to the
All right,
Black
so here's
Enterprise.
the Black Enterprise. If y'all want to believe this site, let's see here. So the statement said, "Oh, hold on. Oh, never mind, because this was written back on July 3rd, 2024. This was before he took office
Okay.
again."
But stay where you gotta stay.
Huh?
Stay where you gotta stay. State
Read
the
it.
relevance of that time.
I can't because it's before he went back in.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been his decision.
So we'll look that up later. But that
All right.
that. But okay. You know what?
Always have to consider your source too. You don't just like put it in Chat GBT. That's what what. So anyway, yeah. What's the source?
So,
Is it a
can I-
reputable source?
But the
Can I-
question
I read
was,
Black Enterprise magazine, but it didn't fit his narrative, so he stopped.
No, that's not what I did. I said
That's what exactly not. That's why you gotta state the fact of what you, because of before and after, the cause and effect
That's what I
is still
did.
relevant.
That's
The
what I
question-
did.
but the
That's
question
what I did. So
was,
that's what I did. I said we took office again, so I stopped.
Okay, let James get. Yeah, what were you
no,
saying?
it's fine because the question was, and I will take that as a point of relevance, Brother Brooks. But I was asking for
Wait, I
all
didn't say that.
I was asking for
I'll say
American
that's
citizens.
American. That's American citizens.
Yeah, that's why I said I'll take that point as relevance, a point of relevance.
What's American citizen?
Okay.
Funding HBCUs.
I mean,
I like it.
okay.
I believe in it. I believe in it.
We still don't have health care.
So with Trump and HBCUs, I was gonna let it go, but since Brooks brought it up, now I have to say it. Remember when Charlie Kirk got
you're
shot?
going.
Yep.
And immediately all the white supremacists started doing like bomb threats to like all the HBCUs. Remember when Trump was like, "Hey, stop that"?
No,
Oh wait, he didn't say anything.
Barely.
he didn't say a word. He was
He didn't
quiet.
say a word. They had to shut all the campuses down,
Yep.
and they
And it
had
was when
nothing to do with it.
Somebody on his side that tried to shoot him.
You know what I'm saying? Someone in that state, even. You know what I mean? So why is
And it all looks
Georgia
very
and-
Hollywoodish, to tell you the
and
truth.
and the Carolinas, like why are they having to shut down stuff and shelter in place?
That might get killed.
Because you know what I mean. And Trump didn't say really anything. So
thanks.
thanks for the money that we were gonna get anyway. I guess
And the
couldn't have
reason why-
bothered you to make a tweet about it. You know, to leave us the hell alone.
Oh,
The-
he's not gonna do that.
no. The reason
We
why
ain't
I'm
bothering
asking
nobody.
is because generally speaking, they try to trick us. They try to trick the American people. At least they would have done something for somebody. This administration hasn't done anything for anybody unless you make a certain amount of money.
Mhm.
Everything else comes to an end.
That's a very general statement, very vague.
No, it's not.
very-
That's a very factual
I
statement.
just said
Yeah.
it.
I
should be
am
used, and I
purged.
just literally,
What he said?
you know,
Except for the farmers,
we
right?
just talked about it.
Farmers are getting
Yeah.
fucked.
I look. I think it's just because you're speaking out of the whole quote unquote America is winning right now. You feel like we gotta protect this guy at all costs because of the stuff that you're seeing, and I get it. The presidency needs to be protected,
Why?
but at
Are
one
you
point or
saying that's
another,
what I think.
wait, no. Well, if Fox News is speaking all the time, me as a
Oh,
Mexican
my
American.
You have
Well, let
no
me just
idea
say,
who I am.
hold
enough
on, let
to,
me
like,
just
say
finish my
who I
statement,
think I am.
sir. If I may
So, like,
speak
no, you don't
without
get to
being
say what I
interrupted.
think.
Thank you very much. Vida,
I don't
okay?
give a crap about like
Taco
you don't get to
Tuesday is
say
gonna
what
be
I think.
canceled, dog. I don't
Yeah.
care anymore
I'm not
either.
worried about it.
Yeah, I know you don't
Whoa,
care about
calm
Taco
down. Let's bring
Tuesday,
this
but
down a
taco
notch.
prices out of hand, and gas is
You
out of
do
hand,
not
and
get to
Fox
say
News
what
is.
I think.
I
I will
canceled my
say I'm
Fox
very
News
open and
channel.
speak for
I
myself.
canceled
Thank
Fox News channel. Let me just say
I
that
don't
again.
care
I
about Fox
canceled.
News. I'm not
Yeah,
even
you
a
do.
Republican.
Yeah, you do, sir. I could tell you do because you don't even let me
Oh,
speak.
okay.
Let me just
Go
say
ahead.
my 5 cents. All right. Look, the matter of the fact is that overall Hispanics are the people that are be building everything that you guys love. Cheap labor. It's cheap labor to the next level. And as a matter of fact, now all of a sudden you don't hear the Border Patrol. Now it's super quiet. Why? Because construction is at a standstill, sir. It is at a standstill. And guess what? Grass right now, if you want a landscaper on your property, it is not cheap anymore. Why? Because we got our silent whistles too. We got something to say too. Hispanic minorities, the backbone of America, is done. And it's
But
because the people at the top
let me
is
throw this
like,
out.
oh, let's just make sure that we eat.
So
And that's
I
why
gotta
Fox
throw
News channel is canceled.
I got to throw this out here. I got to throw this out here because my Hispanic, my Latin brothers and sisters, y'all did a horrible job with that last election because y'all voted for this.
Yes, you did.
Let me say this as
Not me.
By the way,
I did not
That's
vote for
before
this.
you speak,
hey,
let me- yeah, but-
I did not
all
vote
I
for
gotta say
this.
is like
Look who was trying to
in
tell
the
you. He was
industry-
trying to tell you.
He's trying to warn everybody
let me say
ahead
this
of time.
in the industry I'm
I
working,
like
construction
America.
is at an
So,
all-time
let me-
high.
Let me say this to Zoe, the Mexican American. You realize that crossing the border illegally is wrong. And when you work for low wages in this country and you come here illegally, you're assaulting the workforce. Now, I'm pro-labor, and I don't make no bones about it. And let me also remind you that, yeah, y'all may still be pissed about the Southwest and losing the American-Mexican war, and that $35 million didn't get paid on that treaty. Okay, fair point on that. But I want you to understand something.
He is not that old.
Let me. Oh, yeah, he knows.
I am
No.
old as hell.
He knows
I
his
know
shit.
what is going on. I went to college, and I went to a liberal college.
But
And
listen-
look, I'm from Chicago. I understand what you're saying, but my grandma
hold
was
on.
born in Texas, like in the
Wait.
1800s,
Let
like
me finish this
mostly.
one.
Hold on, Zoe. Hold on, Zoe.
Let me finish this last point. Because I have no fight with Mexicans. I have no fight with them at all. You realize that when Mr. Austin took his family from Missouri down to Texas, and then they got the rest of those white folks to have that war so Texas could declare its own independence, that part of that idea was bringing slaves over so that they didn't need Mexicans. I want you to understand that. And if they had been lucky, if they had brought the rest of the slaves from the South all the way across the Southwest.
But let me ask you this: now that you're saying that, do you realize that Mexico had a black president before Obama?
Yes.
Black people were welcome. I don't know if you know this, but when you go to certain parts of Mexico, there's a lot of black Mexicans.
Yeah.
And there's a debate that even saying that black cowboys were first than our American counterparts. And I hate talking about colors because that's just a debate that gets us all in the mix of not understanding what this great American dream is all about. But
no, I don't dispute that. Go ahead.
I think let me bring it back, sir. I really just don't think that what we really do need is people that are bipartisan and that can talk across the aisle. and we don't have that right now. It's
Because you
this.
keep putting in the same two people. If you keep putting in a Democrat or a Republican, you will never see substantial change in this country.
So,
But that's all we have.
So hold on.
I know,
You guys,
but
you guys
gotta
have said
vote in
that.
other people from other parties. As long as you keep doing this, you keep making the same complaints.
So
Going back
you
to
don't need bipartisan. I think like you actually need people like Oscar is one of my best friends. He is a liberal. I love him to death. But like sometimes, like I lean conservative, but I'm an independent. But we can have real conversations. I've known him for 20 years, and we can have real conversations as friends and disagree on issues and come together as like, okay, we're closer on this issue than maybe we thought we were. And that is how you progress a real conversation. That's how you progress a real idea without being disagreeable, without like hating each other.
It always is gonna come down to this. I think this is what it's gonna come down to. It's gonna come down to economics. It always comes down to economics. Economics separates people, and that's just the bottom line. Certain people make.
I don't agree with that directly, Zoe. It's not the economics that
I don't either.
That separates people. It's the
The zip codes don't separate us. The zip codes don't. The zip codes don't separate us.
I understand what you're saying, but that in and of itself isn't the thing that divides us. Unfortunately,
okay.
That in and of itself isn't the thing that divides us. That's the difference between people saying, whenever there's a discussion about the Civil War, where some folks will say, well, it was fought over slavery, and some people say, well, it was just simply fought on the Southern economics. Well, then what is Southern economics if it's not right? So it's not simply it's easy to just simply say it's economics, but that's not what it boils down to. It boils down to unfortunately, oftentimes the things that divides us is hatred, ignorance. That's what divides us.
Wait a minute. Now, you're so convinced that the Democrats are going to take both houses because of the economic downturn is so bad. The Republicans have screwed this up under the leadership of President Trump, that his economic plan has crushed us, starting with that war, because that's economics, and then that ballroom that's really didn't need to be, it needed to be built, but not for that type of cost. And then he lied about it from the very beginning. So when you say hatred, is the hatred of the Democrats so strong that they're going to come out and vote and take both houses then in November?
So can I say something real quick? I think the both of you just did exactly what the Democrats did, and that's why they lost the election. He just said it's economics, and both of you just said no, it's not. That's the problem. We don't.
No, it's not just. I'm
not saying that to like chastise. I'm just saying to prove a point. Like we're not like the people are not as politically sophisticated as we are. Okay. At large, we are politicophiles. We read the HRs when they come out. We're watching hearings. We're listening. We are steeped in this stuff. They're watching The Bachelor, America's Got Talent. You know what I mean? Because they have hard jobs, maybe, and they need to decompress, and then they got to go to sleep because they got to go to work in the morning.
That's right.
They don't.
I just suggest.
Hold on, hold on one second. So while his answer was kind of like, like sophomoric and maybe like not totally complete, even for to prove his own point, but that's the point. He's not trying to prove a point. That's what he meant.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
What I mean? And I think we don't do that anymore. These people don't give a like. That's why the Republicans are going to lose everything, because gas is going to be by November. Gas is going to be almost $7 a gallon. You are not winning any election like that with your party.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
That's just how it is.
That's not what the betting market said. This made that money off the betting market today. No, it won't be at $7 a gallon. No,
well, if I may interject,
it won't. That is so like no, wait, guys.
Diesel.
That is so like hyperbole that it's wild, and because
it's literally happening.
I saw 635 in San Francisco when I went to go see Monet in Venice last weekend.
Yeah,
I was like,
in
holy
Chicago.
crap!
It's $5 in Chicago right now.
Yep.
So I think that's wild. But like this will all calm down. It will come all the way back down.
Yeah, just like COVID did. Huh?
What happens when the liberals lose again. Because, like, as much as I'm an independent, I'm watching a trend here of the liberals shooting themselves in their own foot and keep losing again and again and again over dumb shit.
But that's not what's happening out on the playing field.
So my question is like where are you getting your kind of like info? Because if you're not getting it from like the left wing version of Fox News, like if you're getting your information from like MS Now,
I live in Silicon Valley.
Okay, so if you're in California, you're already not in America, right?
Salty.
Oh, wow.
In Ohio,
you're in your entire own country. You guys have a small country over there. So
yeah, you guys are a vegan country. You guys don't even like meat.
Like you're not connected to like what's going on in Florida, where Trump lost like the Mar-a-Lago district flipped. You're not paying attention to Baltimore and what's going on in the West.
Born and bred Ohioan country guy.
But I'm asking you about your media intake on what the
from the Ohio
progressive
State
movies.
University. Got my master's from San Jose State University. Like Ohio is my home.
Tell him, bro. Tell him, bro. Tell him how Fox News raised you, bro. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. Because you say, look, you're saying you're an independent, but you think conservative. So low key, your Fox channel all day.
I lean conservative.
Lean back. Lean back, bro, because Taco Tuesday is not going to be canceled. Fox News is.
I voted for Democrats before.
Oh, God. Yeah, in 2000. I have to tell you guys this, and Zoe, you probably know this, with yesterday being Cinco de Mayo. Usually here in Houston, Texas, it's a big deal. You know, everybody, they've changed it into a big party. It's
a holiday almost.
Yeah, it's totally commercialized, but at the same time, it's been going on for so long. You know, we've had the discussions, it shouldn't be so commercialized, but then a lot of Latinos come out and be like, screw it. We still going to have, our fajitas and everything and tacos and margaritas, and we're going to celebrate, right?
Yes.
But yesterday was just so drab and dead.
And it was Taco Tuesday.
And it was Taco Tuesday.
Right.
And so we went to one of our favorite restaurants, Papacitos. We didn't go there to say. I just went and got some queso and salsa and chips,
Yeah.
And it was just so dry. It's like a lot of Americans were in there, but and a couple of people didn't even notice. They were like, oh, like, because I was waiting. And so I started the conversation. It was with Black people. And I said, well, it's not really that big of a wait. It was a wait, but not the usual wait, because it's like Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Around the corner.
Yeah, I said, well, I said because of ICE, the fear of it and everything. And they was like, oh my God, I didn't even notice. And they started looking around the restaurant. There was a lot of white people in there. It was some Black people in there, but there were barely in. It was just, the whole city is just kind of like
everybody's just because you don't see it on the TV anymore, the silent code went out. We're like, Hispanic people, and excuse me, right now that was the entertainment zone, and I gotta push the card. This is me putting my intelligent Harvard, Yale University situation going on. Look, right now, a lot of people are mad as hell, and I'm gonna say it and scared because we can't wait to vote. We can now. I'm not gonna say I'm independent or I'm a red or I'm a blue, because we all getting shafted somehow. People in the red are getting shafted. People in the blue are getting shafted because they're distracted if they don't even know if they're male or female. All respect to the people that are confused or whatnot, but a lot of the things that
you get a medical degree from all those universities?
Yeah, I did, bro. I really did, and it's basically lets me know that if my sense don't add up, I'm gonna make sure that my people are eating. That's the bottom line. And since I fought cancer 2 times in my family, you best believe that I can go into a hospital and I can get people tippity tap toe going on. My insurance people know that Alonzo does not play. And when people play with my name, it adds to dollars and cents. Of course, I'm basically a lawyer. Counselor Zoe, if you want to be really talking about it. And that's why I canceled Fox News Channel, because I'm not playing with that. I'm not playing with MSNBC either. I'm just making sure that all the people in my community are going to be in line voting. And independents or whatever, we're going to make sure that the details add up. Because as soon as I look at my bill for the mortgage and I see that all these people are taxing me to the next level, there's no taxation without representation. And that's the bottom line. And I rest my case.
Yeah. So I gotta jump off in a bit. I'm battling a headache now. This is
You've
killing
been
me.
unhinged tonight. I was like, dang, he sound like Lynn and Richard.
I know. But I was talking. I was at Costco the other day. Shout out to Costco. You can support me if you want. I'll actually take your.
I know
I
that's
love
right.
Costco.
Boycotting my local Costco. We had an incident.
Hey, I'm a Costco king, but I got the black card. I was going through Costco and I met a young fella, and he was selling water, dispensable water. And so we got to talking, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, you registered to vote? Are you voting?" Look, young brother. He said, "No, I ain't voting because
Oh God,
it don't change nothing. It don't matter.
that's
It doesn't
a big
matter."
lie.
And I'm saying that just to say, I conversed with him for a while, just because of that. I said, listen, if your vote didn't count, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't spend billions of dollars to silence you or to make you think that your vote doesn't matter. Your vote matters. Go register. And so we continued to talk, and then I said, so who's running for your councilman? Who's up for in your district for mayor? And he said, Andy Bashir. I said, oh, little brother, that's our governor. You can't be an uninformed voter either. You have to be an informed voter just as much as you have to go vote. And just as much as you go vote, you need to be taking your buddies with you. Right. And so I'm saying that just because Zoe reminded me of that. And that's what we have to do starting at this point in life. That's where we are. That's where we are. We've gone back to pre-1965, literally. We're pre-1965. And even in that, I kind of agree with Richard. I don't know how much is going to change or if it's going to change a lot or not. But I know that at this point, we have to force our voices to be heard. And if we don't do that, it goes back to like something gentrification in the hood, where we gave y'all that section. Ain't nobody wanted to buy the houses. We gave you all these other benefits. Nobody wanted to take advantage of them. We gave you the Voting Rights Act of 1965, but no, y'all didn't want to vote. You didn't want to go vote.
Nope.
But wait, one quick question though. When you say that, if black people were not voting enough, but yet those numbers say that we create all these different black districts, black people had to be voting for them to want to come take it away. So black people were at a certain point, they were voting enough to make the conservatives, the Republicans say,
when we made them nervous? We made them nervous twice. President Obama.
Okay.
That's when our highest voting numbers, our highest turnout was during that time.
But again, when you only,
and the second time, Jay?
Yeah. When you only listen to this.
Both times. Okay.
Listen to this. When you only represent 12.6%, you ain't making nobody nervous. I'm sorry. White people.
We literally made them nervous.
Richard,
you represent 12.6% of the population, you ain't making nobody nervous. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold up. Were you here in Chicago when Obama spoke? When Obama was in, like, people were like, "What the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here?" Yeah, they got real nervous.
But President Obama did not get elected off black people's vote. I'm telling you that.
Who
Alone.
voted him in
It's
then?
true.
I agree. I agree.
Actually, you know,
If
I
you
would
have
say, Trump
57.5%
got elected off
black
of black people's vote because Trump got the most black people's vote in a long time, historically.
That's false.
Numbers.
That's not true.
No, he got like it was more than 8% within his first term.
That's false.
That's
Oh,
incorrect,
8%.
sir.
It was more than 8%.
No, I don't think so, Mr. Glass.
Look
I
at
think
the
President
numbers
Obama-
of percentage of black people voted
Now,
for Trump.
you've got to actually
No,
go.
92% black female did not vote for him.
They voted for VP
Mr.
Harris. There was now when you talk about black males, that's
Right.
the
Yeah, they
demographic.
were in the 80s. They were in the
That's what I'm
80s.
talking
They were
about.
in the 80s.
They were in
but
the
that was
80s.
a-
Oh, no.
they were in the 80s.
Hey,
But that
no.
it was a
Mr.
bit of a
Brooks is
larger
stating
group.
true that the Republican Party pulled more black votes with Donald Trump's election in 24 than they had ever did. That is a fact.
Yeah,
Then
that's
whoever
all
did
I
It
was
was
saying.
literally just 7% more black men. That's it.
It's
Huh?
a
It was
demographic.
just 7% black men.
It's a
increase.
it's
That's
Yes,
demographic.
but that
It's not
matters.
black.
7% black men voted for Trump.
Yeah,
Right.
and so
That's
he's it's not black people overall. It
Right.
was black
Well,
men.
I'm saying like clearly there's been a trend. It was more than his first term. And
Brother,
it's
7%
now in
of all black men. Like, calm down.
Sure, sure.
But
That's nothing, dude. That's
that was
nothing.
the
That's like half
increase.
a city.
Yeah, that was the increase that they were talking about.
Yeah, but city.
That was,
But,
but that was the
in your
narrative.
So,
non-Dewey
what I
Decimal
have-
System understanding and generate like you got to understand like
I'll get you
There's
the
a
exact
trend
number.
going-
Oh, hey, Mr. Brooks, hold on a second.
yes.
So I'm trying to back you up here. Hold on, Mr. Brooks. So I'm looking at here, it says here, the Republican Party with Trump in 2024 got more black votes in 48 years.
Black-
And what?
Finish the
Okay, so here
sentence.
I'm trying to get the percentage off this particular source. Hold on. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the percentage.
Thank you. I need it.
Now it's saying in total 21% of black men voted for Trump, which was 2% more than in 2020. Now that's what this
Oh,
side.
so it's 2%.
It says
What?
Okay,
total-
my bad with the
in
8%.
total-
My bad, y'all.
in
I'm
total 21% of
Oh, he's
black.
saying 21 versus your 7. He's saying
I'm
3
sorry.
times as many.
I
So
thought the
at
increase was 8%. It was 2%. My bad.
Okay. No. Listen to what I'm saying, Mikey. At this particular site, it's saying in total 21% of black men voted for Trump, which was 2% more than in 2018.
Yeah,
I mean, in
and so,
2020.
so that's what I'm saying.
2020 was-
But I'm like that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about a demographic, right? We're not talking about black people overall.
Talk about black men.
That's all I was
Yeah.
saying. That was like, more
that's
people,
what I'm
more
saying,
percentage.
because-
So, yeah.
How many
That's all
black
I'm saying.
men voted for Obama?
That's what exactly.
I
I
have
was
to look it
about
up,
to look.
but it's overwhelmingly. Yeah.
How many
was
black
said?
men voted for
I'm not
Obama?
talking. We're not
That's
talking
my
about.
question.
I don't know, Lynn.
Oh, but you can
He's
do
looking
no.
it
Come on, Kermit. Let's go.
Look, can I?
Let's
Because
go,
that's
Kermit.
what I'm saying.
Richard, can I
Big
look it up?
He ain't
Richard,
got no more
Richard, can I
windows
look it
left.
up?
He ain't got no more windows left. You know, you only got so many
Because,
windows.
Brooks, you're 100% correct when you're talking about black male demographic. There was an increase.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all,
This is something
that's
that
all I was saying. You know,
No,
I
but
was
that's not what
trying
you
to,
said.
like,
You said black
start
people
anything.
or the black vote. You said the black vote. And we have to make sure that
apologize for the nuance misstep. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
because that was something that I've debated. I debated that after this happened and the numbers began to poll. It's because everybody was trying to figure out how this happened. And of course, it came to us and trying to see exactly what we did. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, President Trump increased in the demographic of black men, but not black votes overall.
Yeah. See, that's
I figured,
Richard,
that's still,
Richard.
wouldn't
I'm
it
black
increase
men
the
vote for
demographic of black
Obama.
men, increasing the demographic overall?
You
Can I-
never know.
Say that again,
You're not
Brooks.
gonna look? You're not gonna look?
Wouldn't
I'm
the
loo-
increase
I'm
of
looking- I'm trying
demographic
to
in
look
black
it up right
men
now.
increase the
I'm
very
demographic
busy.
of black
I
votes
see your
overall?
hands. I see your hands. You're not
Hold
trying.
on, give me a second.
Oh my God! Give me a
You ain't
break.
trying.
I'm tired
I
tonight.
see too many fingers. Come on.
You know how Google is slow
See, Richard,
sometimes when
this
you
is how you
search.
play yourself. I bet you. Look, what I'm gonna have you swatted, and I bet you they're
Damn.
gonna come out of your closet with a red hat. I
Damn.
know it. You know,
Do you know how messed up to have Lynn swat Mikey would be?
Send two
No, I'm
teams.
swatting Richard.
Not Mike.
I'm swatting the president because he won't do his thing for me.
I thought you would swat me first because I make fun of you at the University of Spoiled Children.
What was the question for you, Liam? What did you want to see again?
How many black men voted for Obama? Percentage. Like you gave the percentage that 21% voted for Trump, right?
I'm trying to read this as fast as I can. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody take a deep breath.
Here we go.
He's sweating now.
So I got co-pilot. What my co-pilot says in 2008 presidential election, African American men made up a small share of the total electorate, but were key part of Obama's historic 95% support among black voters. According to the National Electoral Pool, 13% of all voters were African. Yada yada yada, and we know that part.
So I have here. It says if you go by the Pew Research dissecting in 2008, nearly all 95% black voters cast their ballot for Democrats.
But you don't have black men for Obama. You got it for Trump, but you don't have it for Obama.
7.6
I'm
million
trying to find-
African American men.
You know what?
voted
Oh,
for
you ain't gonna keep beating me up, man.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm trying to get it as fast as possible. Hold on, shit.
I need that Trump energy.
They don't make them
That's what
pills
I'm
no
not getting.
more. They don't make them pills
I
no
want
more.
that Trump energy. But when Mikey gave his Trump number, boom, you came second behind and tripled his number.
Oh, you better believe it. It's gonna be a big one.
It was 95% of the black males vote. So only 5%.
Black men had the highest voter turnout.
Yeah.
Like in 2008.
And
then
if I can say
looks
while
like
you
they don't want to tell me on the pew for black men, but I'm still looking for
Wow.
it.
while you guys are looking those numbers up, I just want to say I'm glad that both parties are having this pickle fight because the young people who are millennials, me, we're mostly progressive and we'll take anybody's primary and put you on your behind on the curb, you and all your little crusty stuff, take your seat and start giving the things, the treasures of this country back to the people where they belong. We don't care about nothing. None of y'all is talking about. We're just gonna take it. We're already who's the mayor of New York? Anyway, we're gonna keep moving with that.
Goodness,
same
that's not
energy
something to brag
and we're
about,
gonna
bro.
do. And
That is not something to brag about.
The people are gonna get what they.
That is not something to brag
Y'all
about.
tried every trick in the book.
This poll is not
This is
telling
why
me
you
we're supposed
lose.
to talk about black women, not black
big tech and overseas money couldn't do it after all. The people weren't buying it.
So I think even regardless of how you feel Mamdani's doing, there's a shift there, and it does show something. It does show something. Whereas 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, he never would have stood a chance.
Not a chance.
But now I think that this kind of does go with what you usually say, Brooks, but it goes a little bit against you because things have gotten so bad at this point that people are willing to take that shift over to a Mamdani, right? Instead of simply relying on a hardline Republican or hardline Democrat. People have gotten sick of it.
Not Christian.
Yeah, not a Christian.
White,
absolutely.
And born in Africa.
Yeah, and so that does
his middle name Kwame.
Yeah, that does actually show a shift in culture. So
and they're gonna hit the wall as soon as they see their tax bill, and they're gonna be living in a smaller apartment.
Hey,
it's New York. They already live in smaller apartments.
You already took care of that.
Yeah, I get it. You guys love that whole Disney Channel situation. Have fun.
But Chicago's not too far away from that.
Oh, I know it. And there's that kind of shift. What? So guys, we need more money. We need more money for like what? Another program that don't work and just gets shafted down the drain because there's new energy of there's new people or what? They still gonna think about at the end of the day, they're gonna get paid less and less, and now they're competing with computers. So good luck.
So let me ask you something. I meant to get you on the last one. You always throw it back like there's no kind of back and forth between like representatives of any level of government and the people that they are supposed to govern. You do have a channel to talk to the people that are around you, and you do have a channel to hold them accountable, right?
Yeah, that don't work, bro. At the end of the day, it's big money, big bank. That's the way it goes down. Okay, America's built upon that.
Hold on. How did you try?
Well, how did I try what?
How did you try to redress your government for not doing what you told it to do?
I know. What do you mean? You can't. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna sell them an email? Send them a letter? Go on Facebook?
Did you try any of that?
New generation. We'll try.
At the end of the day, this is what works. This is what works, and this is what's gonna always work. I talk to my neighbors. I actually have my neighbors
and then
knowing
you recorded that conversation and then
there's no recording. What do you mean recording? There's no recording, bro. We're going back to 1985. So we're going back to what works. Okay. Hi, how you doing? My name's Alonzo, and this is what I like to do, and this is what the family represents.
So you have a problem, and then
I don't have a problem.
No.
I don't have a problem.
I'm saying when you have a problem, you don't tell anybody about it, and then nothing happens. Is that correct?
That's absolutely incorrect, sir. I travel. That is literally what you said. You said
travel. You have an issue comes up. You tell people who are not in charge of fixing it, and then they don't fix it because they're not in charge of it. Is that correct?
Do you understand what county I live in? I live in Lake County, one of the most richest counties in the whole United States. I know my constituents. I know what they vote for. I go on the internet and I take notes, and then I talk to my neighbors.
You live up there by Dick Durbin.
Yeah. What about him?
I mean, did you vote in the primary for his replacement?
Do you understand what state we live in? It's like right next to New York. Unless we want somebody that doesn't even understand what's.
I'm literally in.
Okay, all right. Let me take a step back. I'm gonna take a deep breath. So you think that I have no problem. Everything is going really nice.
Here, I'll ask the question again. Did you vote for Dick Durbin's replacement in the primary?
No, I don't like that guy.
Listen again. Did you vote for his replacement? He's not running anymore.
Who's going to replace him?
We're voting to see who's going to replace him. That's why I asked you who.
Do you know who he is? I don't know who he is.
It's a lady. It's the lieutenant governor. This is what I'm saying, bro.
The lieutenant governor. Okay, so what? She's a Democrat, right? So she's a Democrat.
Hold on. Or it might be the comptroller. I'm not sure because they were both running for each other's seats. I might have gotten the names.
Winkle.
But this is what I'm. Buzzo, this is
without research.
Buzzo, this is the point I'm making.
This is a democratic state, bro. This is a democratic state. Right, this is a democratic county. You know how many Mexicans need to vote? You guys all deported them. There's no more Mexicans, bro. That's it. We're the last one. As a matter of fact, I'm the last one.
Hold on. So the thing is, we get to pick the person that replaces him. So that's why that part is important. So that's why I was asking you, like, were you paying attention to that?
What is that going to do?
That doesn't answer the question. I feel like you're trying to defend yourself. But I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to enlighten you and like remind you that we have a say in this. We get to pick. Like Dick Durbin has been a crusty fucking barnacle on the ass of Illinois for like 30 something years. He's been in that seat, right? So we finally get rid of him. And like, I'm figuring you would be with me. Like, yes, we're getting rid of him. Who do we want to replace him? And I'm like, all right, I listened to this. Like I watched the debate. I did the thing. I checked out their websites. And then like, you're here and you're just like not ready.
Because look, this is what it's going to boil down to.
Instead of pointing at they all the time, you might have dropped the ball on this one. You got
I did not drop anything, bro. I don't drop nothing. Look, as a matter of fact,
dog. The only thing that primary not paying attention. That's on
Hold
you.
on a second before you, because I'm too busy fucking working all the damn time. I barely get
Jay,
a chance to
told
Google
you.
stuff.
Jay, didn't I tell you?
What?
They watch the Basher. They're busy. They don't do it like we do it.
So check this
What
out.
do you? Okay, so you have.
Hey,
So
Joe.
okay, so
Hey,
what is
Joe.
it that you do so much different? That
Joe.
you vote an
Hey, Joe.
independent and
Joe.
it has no track record
Hey,
of
Joe.
nothing?
No. I said it. I voted in the primary, but what I'm saying is, unless you're like a political podcaster and you watch the news 24/7,
Hey,
and you watch all these different
But
councils.
what did that do? Okay, so you voted.
It's not a lot.
You voted
Mikey,
educationally. You voted
Mikey.
educational. What did that do for the state?
So Mikey,
Nothing.
hey, Mikey.
What did that do to the taxes?
So
Went
Mikey,
up.
hey,
We're not
Mikey,
there yet, but that's the
Mikey.
thing. You got to know the different steps
Mikey,
that we're
Mikey,
at. Yes,
Mikey.
Mr. President.
Mikey.
Okay, go ahead.
I want
go ahead.
you to come and mute that shit because check this out. Because this is
Okay.
what you want. This is what you want to see, and Zoe doesn't have the ability to do it. So here's my
The hell?
built out, completed return ballot.
Don't
envelope.
dox yourself. Don't dox
Okay.
yourself.
No, I don't know. Hold on a second.
He's
I'm
already.
not
He,
worried about nobody doxing me. If somebody wants
Yeah.
to come to my house, come on with it. I'm at 3225 43rd Street, Sacramento, California. I don't
Whoa,
live in
whoa,
fear.
whoa.
Okay, I don't live in
too late.
fear.
That's what y'all
No,
just.
it's just like
That's
did.
what you- hold on,
they
hold on
like
a second.
they like
Let it get
try
out,
to get
Blake.
Go ahead,
loans and
Rich.
stuff
Go ahead,
on
Rich.
you.
Go ahead,
Let
Rich.
it get out.
Hold on a second. I don't live in fear.
Okay.
If somebody wants to come knock on my door, if I can make it out of St. Louis, I can make it right here in Sacramento. So this is my return ballot, signed and
Why would you
completed.
leave
This is
St.
my
Louis?
address, okay? Now here's my ballot, okay? It's all completed, and I have a photo scan. So when someone says, "Oh, you voted for Trump," show me the evidence because I can show you my voting record. So when you come and ask those kind of questions, you're right, and I can show you the work I've done. I photocopied my record from 2012 up to now. I've never voted for Trump, not in the primary or the general election. Now, and I don't vote always Democrat and Republican, particularly in the last couple elections. So check
But
this
that-
out.
Okay.
I don't like primaries, but the person I wanted to
But
vote for,
participate.
they would not put him on the primary. So as you can see, I wrote his
God
name
damn, that's a big primary.
because all the people are running for governor. So I had to write in Dr. Butch Ware,
Holy
this black man.
crap.
Now I don't agree with everything Butch Ware says,
I don't like
but I want to
Butch.
give him a shot. So I wrote his name in, and then I voted for a black woman Republican and a black woman Democrat, and then another black woman in a non-political office, but she's probably a Democrat. And then I voted for some other people. So when you're talking, I hear exactly what you're saying, because I used to be that person who didn't vote when I was younger, and I cut all that nonsense out. And I started voting, and then more importantly, I started photocopying. So when people accuse me of voting for someone, I said, well, I can show you my voting record. The point is, do you have the time to photocopy or scan? I scan my voting record and the return envelope so I can show someone my voting record. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you exactly what I've done for transparency's sake.
My voting record's in office.
Huh?
My voting record's in office. All my people are still there.
No. So when someone says, how did you vote? I can show you on each election from 2012, general and non-election year, non-presidential years. I can show you how I voted on every proposition, on every person in the state of California. So that when someone says, did you vote for Trump? I can show you that I did not vote for Trump. But the key is, can that person show me that they did not vote for Trump? They cannot, because they did not take time to photocopy that voting ballot.
And
I
Look,
know
we
they
can
did.
get excited. We can get excited because we have a dude in New York that is the new age politician hybrid. But I can guarantee you that guy's getting pulled one way or another. And whoever's pulling the strings is what you're really getting. Because it's all fun and games until they start actually raising your taxes and then take away all your social health care away. And
He's
then make
adding that.
healthcare super expensive. You can't get sick without being broke. The result is basically the same. Someone's pulling the strings left or right, guaranteed. As fun as it's cool to be like, look, we got our answer, guys. Here's this new guy. He's got the answers because he's not, foolish like the old school minds. It always comes down to the
Let me,
economics.
let me
And
hold
if
on,
you're
hold on
paying,
real quick,
and if
real
I'm
quick.
paying taxes off
Yeah.
through the roof, it's
Yeah.
basically because we're basically in a blue situation. That's
Okay,
the bottom line.
Okay. Let me tell you something about Zoran that you probably didn't know. So while he's this like little bearded, small-headed, smiley dude, right? Homeboy's team is full of straight up like I would say like political Brazilian jiu-jitsu players. Like that's his whole architect. Like the lady who set up the file your taxes online for free, she's on the team. Trump got rid of it. The lady who was in Lena Khan is on his transitional committee, and she's amazing. She got like $2.4 billion back to consumers who are getting scammed on those like online scams and stuff like that. She went after them, closed down the shops in India, got people their money back, all these scams. Right. That's his team. So here's the gangster part.
Yeah.
Zoran in his quest for the mayorship ended up getting more votes than Governor Kathy Hochul did in her election. So, you know, he said, it'd be a real shame if you told all of my voters who you're going to need that we can't have this money for our buses. And she said, I'll call you right back. Guess what? They drafting it now. I'm telling you, bro, we don't have to follow the pity pat.
The semantics.
He said, either you're going to do what I told you to do because I'm going to support you, or you're going to go into New York and you're going to look all the New Yorkers who are going to vote in the election. I'm the mayor of New York. Tell them that they can't have it.
So check this out. Hey,
so now he has the leverage position where now he gets to say we can have this unless the governor says no.
Hey, Mikey, you're not completely right. You're not completely wrong. So when Zoe says people are being pulled from either side, Zoe is not completely wrong either. But what we're asking is for people to make the effort to vote.
Yeah.
Because you can't really complain unless you make the effort to vote. That's the first thing. But Zoe makes valid points about when you allow lobbyists to participate in elections, you're basically being manipulated.
He took no money. And I won't support any candidate that takes super PAC money.
So Mikey, you're
sure. Do you know New York, bro? New York.
Look it up, brother.
Everything is up for sale in New York, bro.
You went with the state minimum, yep, or the state maximum for federal funds.
So Mikey, you're sure that this person, Zoe?
I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna actually go on Facebook tomorrow. Now you got the Zoe running, bro. I'm gonna be a machine tomorrow. And I'm going to pull all the information, all the small little council details, and I'm going to make sure that all my people know that your guy is a big rat, bro. Because I already know how this game goes in America. Okay. Guaranteed somebody bought this homie, and guaranteed someone's pulling his strings. It's New York, baby.
You know what?
Good job. I like how you guys were able to, know, and you both of you were able to get your points across, and now this is what you were talking about, how we think versus how you think, Mikey. So good job for you and Zoe. And so all you've been quoting all night are rap songs. We gang.
But hold on, Zoe's not wrong. He is not completely wrong on what he's saying. We just want him to make sure he votes in all elections, primary and general. So because
salute, bro, salute, respect.
So my thing is when Zoe, how you said that man's name?
Zoran Mamdani.
Okay, Mamdani. See, when a person shows up out of the blue like that and says he's not going to do this and he's not going to do that and he's different than all the rest, I'm not going to diss him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let time tell. I'm going to let time tell.
Yeah.
Because I know what I went through. And when I said I was going to do it, it got done. Now, he's in the state of New York, in that New York City. That's a rough one. Of all the cities in America, that probably is the toughest one. And then LA maybe is next. So I understand what Zoe is saying. I really understand what he's saying. I'm waiting to see on time will tell if he has as much leverage, and he has to stay alive. He has to stay alive. Political assassination. Right. He has to stay alive. He has to keep his security up. Because when you're really bringing the heat, America will come for you.
You seen that went after Ilhan and she was ready to sock him. She was like, "Oh, that's assault. I can't do that."
She better be careful. She doesn't go to jail.
She was trying to hit old boy.
Ladies and gents, it's been real and it's been fun and it's been real fun. But I have got to go take some medication.
Take something.
Salute everybody. God bless everybody. Proud of you
I was
guys.
tired. Hey, I was tired tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. I've had a lot.
Yeah, I don't believe that. No.
Easy pickings.
I was real tired when I needed you to find some information. Real tired.
Fingers are just so fatigued.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I was looking.
I needed
I
that
was
Trump voter energy that you
I was
had.
at 3 or 4
You
different
was on it
sites.
with Trump.
You got to do the finger exercise.
I put on there Obama black men voters 2008, and it would not give me a straight answer. It said 95%.
Oh, your computer is prejudiced too.
The computer is left, bro. The computer is blue.
All right.
Right.
No,
All right.
would have answered the question.
All right. As
God
always,
bless everyone.
Look, his laptop got a red hat sitting right on top of it.
No.
dang,
No.
it's out of
When I
frame.
vote, people call me outside my name. I say, well, here's my paperwork. Where's your shit at? See, that's what I do.
Look,
That's
it's whatever
hilarious.
sent you, which is
Huh?
what I ain't gotta have no copy. You can tell
No,
by
I
my
keep copies.
conversation. Like I can
Because
tell
a
by
lot of people,
Look, everybody that knows me, Richard, knows how I move. They know.
hey,
They
Mr.
already
Brooks,
Thanks,
know.
everybody.
Mr. Brooks.
See, I say
Yes,
it's time
sir.
to get off, and everybody woke up, and everybody got hype
Yeah, we
again.
ready to go around the horn. What do you
Hey,
think?
Mr. Brooks.
No,
Let's
but
go
you know,
around the
in all
horn.
honesty, peace,
Brooks.
everybody, because these are the
too,
kind of
though.
conversations we need, though. For real, for real.
Careful. Be
Hey,
careful
Mr.
out
Brooks.
there, though,
Mr.
Joe, for
Brooks.
real.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The funny thing about black folks, and this is the I would never believe this.
He need to get offline.
I don't think Mr.
A
Brooks
lot of,
is
Mr. Brooks, a lot of
I'm
black,
talking about
Yes, sir.
Mr.
a lot of,
President.
I'm
a
listening.
lot of,
okay.
You keep-
I'm ready to
a
go.
lot of black folks, Mr. Brooks, voted for Trump.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay, more than
many.
expected.
To be
Yeah, it
continued.
was more than expected.
Well, Richard, you know
It
you
was way
cannot
more than
trust your
expected.
computer.
It's
We
the
can-
battery.
we can
You know that
just
cable.
go
You got to
around
wiggle
the
the cable.
Oh, hold on,
Brother
let me
Glass, could you go around the horn, please, so we can
We
stop
will.
this nonsense?
We will go
right now?
around the horn. Give me 1 second here.
All right.
I've got to get back in here. Let me.
Hey, it felt really good to talk about all those things, guys. Like, for real, all respects and peace to everybody for having the right tone and the right way of speaking, because we all have strong opinions, and that's what makes America great or awesome.
Again, I'm kidding. Yay. No.
Thank you, Gabba. All right, so let's get it around the horn. She got me a brownie from work. We'll go around the horn. Of course, I won't go first. I always go last. But Mikey, since this is your first around the horn, you will be first. So around the horn is just essentially our final takeaways, or whatever you want to say. It doesn't have to necessarily be directly correlated to anything we talked about tonight. It's whatever you want to share.
Oogie. You guys might have seen him make the rounds through your clips and all this stuff. The black guy with the white afro with the afro picking Ellie Manziel. Everybody should go check out. I forget the name of the podcast he was on. Actually, I do have a little stall while I look for it. But I would recommend that everybody go check out that episode of it, because despite what certain people might say, this is bad. This decision is bad, and it will have bad consequences. And we wouldn't need civil rights if people weren't. It's the Dean Obadala show that he was on.
Okay, I heard him on Rolling, I believe.
Yeah, if you just type Ellie Mistel and you'll find it. It's he said, and this is something I hope everybody remembers. It's the first time in a long time that because I have a 3-year-old, that the kids will have less rights than the parents. And I don't know how to tell her how to grow up in this. I'm not sure how to prepare her for this. Like, heaven forbid she falls in love and gets married and then wants to vote afterwards, we are in a bad spot. I have hope for the future, but I have no illusions about who I need and do not need with me to fix this. Those of us that fix will fix, and those of us that complain will complain. So we'll fix this with Gen X kicking and screaming the whole time.
Got it. Zoe, because I know you got to go in a second, Zoe. So you up next.
Well, let me just say a happy Cinco de Mayo to La Raza, my brothers and
Mi gente.
sisters. Increase the peace. Taco Tuesday, I found a spot yesterday where $2 a taco. So hope is alive and well. So with that in mind, also make sure you reach out to your neighbors. Let's just go back to 1985 if we can. Going back to we're in the middle of Gen X or Gen Z or whatever generation you guys are at. But my generation is specifically, we're gonna keep it analog while everybody goes digital. We're gonna keep it analog, and from that point on, just keep it fresh, keep it cool, keep it patient, keep it loving, keep on smiling, and keep on rocking in the free world. That is it.
I can dig it. Brother Brooks.
Just kidding.
Congratulations to the 2 new ones, Mikey and Zoe. Appreciate you. This Generation X. I have to let you know, Mikey, will kick Aaron cooler and faster, and we are like, that's okay. You're a good dude. I actually like you. I love the conversation you and Zoe had. It was great. But like, my goodness, man, we'll have to continue the conversation. I look forward to it. To the panel,
Your
Lady
generation has no
Stephanie,
accomplishments.
You're awesome, and wow, says the individual here on the talking to you has a master's degree. Go through yourself. You're like, and you know, but always great to like be with the panel and talk real life and look at now. It looks like we're getting into different dimensions of generations, which is great. I think it's going to help. Like, and by the way, this generation actually runs every single thing in Silicon Valley. You look at the CEOs of every top 5 Fortune 5, well, every Fortune 500 company. That's Generation X, sir. Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, Brooks, I appreciate you.
It's going great. Thanks.
Stephanie.
It's always fun. I'll piggyback off of what Brooks was saying about having Mikey, and I was glad to have Zoe come in. And what I was talking about with Cinco de Mayo, with Houston being as diverse as it is, you end up blending into other cultures, because we're human beings, so we have more in common than we don't anyway. But yesterday was really kind of like a want, because any type of happiness or where people can get together and just love on each other and have a good time, I'm for it. It's nobody's hurting each other, and but yeah, everything that's happening has everybody on edge. Whenever they mention, or whenever ICE is mentioned, or like with our airport shutting down, and they just had the people, ICE just walking through, and it's like, how is that going to help? They weren't helping anybody, but that's another thing. But basically, that's it. Glad everybody's here on the show. Jay Glass, please take something.
I am.
Can use some cough drops, because I'm like that. But anyway, get well soon.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna keep it sort of on task. I feel like what happened with the Supreme Court is just another thing that we have to overcome, and I believe that we will. And this will just make us get into a mode of playing checkers more than chess. But as long as what hurts us the most is not getting out and exercising not only our right to vote, but our privilege to vote. And I guess, when people don't understand how good something is until it's taken away, then you just, who's going to feel sorry for you? Like, oh, they took it away. Now I get it. Now I understand. Now I, and it's just unfortunate that you can't learn by listening, and you're forced to learn by living. Because when you learn by living, a lot of the times it's not fun.
Right.
When you can just listen and been a couple steps ahead, and you didn't listen, and now you're living it, and you're sitting there with regret. And Richard, get a faster computer. Stephanie said that.
All right, Rich, you up next.
Give my time to Mr. Glass, and we can get out of here.
You yielded
what?
time.
He yielding his time. He ain't in Congress. He's yielding his
man.
time.
I thought you were gonna say
To the
all
gentleman.
right, well, I'll take it. Right.
I yield my time to the honorable speaker.
That was actually cool, man. I like that.
So what I'll say is we often hear we often hear in America, why do you always have to make it about race? And then the Supreme Court. So the next time you go to ask, why do we have to always make it about race? Remember the Supreme Court. We have taken such a leap backwards because of the fear of white males. This almost inhumane fear of equality. And then you don't just stop at one aspect of life. You take the biggest syringe you can find, you attach that needle onto that syringe, you inject it into your religion and call it white national Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have our VP from Ohio under. Project 2025 was read on this podcast well before these things began to happen. Well before. Ran down the history of 1965 Voting Rights Act. We ran down the history of it. Ran down the history of how Black people were going to begin to get targeted in federal positions, over 600,000 jobs, the biggest demographic being Black women. And yet again, you fix your disgusting lips to ask us as if we owe you, the originators of all this shit, an explanation of why it has to be about race, because that's the only foundation you can understand. You don't understand equality. You don't understand equity. You don't understand leaving somebody else alone and allowing them to call and identify themselves as whatever they want to be. You have a problem with that. And it always comes back to some ridiculous, radicalized, religious zealotry. At this point, white men, when we say leave us alone, you might want to consider doing that, because you've tried rolling us back to a place that we are not your Negro.
Nope.
We are not our grandparents. We are not uneducated. We are not afraid. And we have just as much value in our families that you have in yours. We have just as much reason for self-preservation as you do. And if you continue to place us up against the wall. James Baldwin said, hey, we gonna either live in this motherfucker together or we gonna all die. And you're making that decision for everybody.
Mm.
And I hate it. We don't have to be here. We can't call ourselves the greatest country in the world. We can't even get basic voting rights correct. I'm tired of our grandparents being in positions of power when they need to be at home asleep. I'm just sick of it. We're still fighting their battles, their wars. We're still fighting over their ignorance. We're still fighting over their money, their power plays, so on and so forth. And the cycle just keeps going on and on. This is your issue to fix, not ours. And we have no help for you. I don't have any help for you. You've shown me in your highest court exactly where you want me to be. And I don't ever go to places where I'm not wanted. So just throwing that out there. America, you gotta do better. We're worn out with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
And that's just the bottom line of it. And what makes it even crazier is it's not just us that's worn out with it. Your own kids are worn out with this shit. Your children, your children's children, they're worn out with your BS. Go get on somebody's couch. Go ahead and admit you're gay. Say that you don't know. Do whatever you need to do to fix whatever it is you need to get fixed. But we are tired of playing with you. I'm just saying that. I suspect that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be lashing out. They're going to be lashing out, unfortunately. And it's not going to be a good look for America. It's not going to be a good look for Americans in general. The trend in America is if Black people get taken one step back, the rest of the country is literally getting taken 5 steps backwards. If you see us doing better, the country's doing better. If you see us falling, the country's falling. So take that for what it's worth. That's just what all the studies that I've read say. Just throwing that out there. And I also want to say I'm not Gen X. I'm not a millennial. I'm actually a zennial. So with that being said, I'm finna go take my sick ass to bed. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us tonight.
Get some rest, bro.
Yeah, guys. Till next time.
Blessings, guys. Increase the peace.
God bless
See y'all.
and good night.